guys? I think I started talking too soon before I was actually live. Um, how's everybody? What time is it? Oh, I'm only 3 minutes late. Okay, not too bad. I was trying to get a couple other videos together. What's up, Renee, Pam, Laura? Oh, I'm glad you're here. Joe, Lori, Gail. You're not late. You are early. Kaz, I see triple 3 times zombies on the screen. Where's my gun for my favorite childhood game, Duck Hunt 3? You're silly. Hey, Ellen. Or Ellen. Did I say Helen? Ellen. If I said Helen, I don't know why I said that. Nurse, stretch it. Ellen, Jenny. Okay, so Mandy, Gailey, Ellie. It's going to be a long live because I do want to get through all 3 of the interviews, which we might skip through some of it because I know, like with Lori, there's a time where the actual talking is only like half of it, and then the rest is just her sitting there after they leave the room. So we could kind of skip through that, and then I guess that's the only one thing we could skip through. But it'll probably be like, because Melanie's is almost 2 hours, Alex's is like 2 hours and 8 minutes, and then Lori's is under an hour. So hopefully we'll get through all 3 of those, and then the next one, I don't know when I'll do the other one to do Zulemma's and then Tylee's, and I think those are the only 2 left. Okay, so I do want to play these 2 quick little news clips. Actually, Bella sent me that they're kind of interesting. That just came out of this case, so they're only a couple minutes. So I'm going to play those first, and then we will watch the interviews. What do you guys want to watch first? I almost want to watch Melanie's first. Melanie Gibbs. I think I'm going to play hers first. Is that all right? Sarah, what's up? Thanks, Linda. I got my other merch logo on, guys. Okay, so when my mods share, some reason I'm trying to fix it with Teespring because you know how my merch used to come up under the videos. Now it doesn't do it. The store's not up for some reason, but you can still get it. I still have it, but you have to click on the links that the mods will put up. But for some reason, the Zeking Justice one isn't working. So I already messaged Teespring so that I'm waiting for a response. Monday, they're supposed to get back. So that one, if you click on it, it'll say page not found, but the other 2 will come up. Like this one, this is my other logo that I'm wearing, and then the one I had on yesterday with this logo on the back. So just so you know, the other 2 do work. It's just the Zeking Justice isn't working, the link, for some reason. Anyway, hey, Kubi, what's up? Dark Sea, what's up? Miss Ann? Okay, so let me pull up those other ones because that was a last minute thing. These new news ones that I was like, oh, I might as well share these too real quick. Just a couple minutes, hold on, let me pull them up real quick. How's everybody doing tonight? Saturday night. Hopefully everybody is having a good weekend so far. I'm having a pretty good weekend so far. Not bad. Hey, Matt. Hey, Las Mujeres. Wait. The women. That's right. Women don't have. I love your name. Hey, Christy. Sorry, Christy. Hazak. Love the background. Hope you're doing well. Oh, Zav. I was about to look for Zach in the chat and be like, what's his background? But you just met Zav. Okay. How's it? Zeke will probably end up being up, I bet you. Because the reason we usually have a gate so that we put up so he just stays downstairs, and then we let him up, but we don't like keep it open all the time. We used to before the whole COVID thing that happened in this house. So we would have to move the gate for him to come up. Because if not, like he wouldn't, he's so needy, which I love it. I love it that he's needy. But like, if like, for instance, if one of us is sleeping or something, like he will just keep scratching and I don't know. So we did have the gate, but now since this whole thing that we experienced with the COVID, I don't know. We just changed it because now my grandma's sleeping downstairs. So we keep the gate off now. So Zeke could come up whenever he wants to come down. So now I have a feeling during my lives, he's going to be scratching at the door a lot, probably every time, at least once. He'll probably come up and scratch at the door. So I'm sure he will be. Okay. So I was just digesting the earlier post to Spelling Dome of Candace and stuff. Okay. That was from an old live that I've been meaning to take that clip out and upload it because a lot of people it's at the end of like a long live, and I wanted people to see it because I thought it was really important. Hey, Christy. Okay, Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts, Charnel. Hey, Marie. All right, Mel Mac, Ricard. All right, let me get this up. Oh, I have them up. Okay. Wait, that wasn't the right one. Hold on a second. That is so weird. Hold on a second. I have. Oh, it was the end of one of the videos. Okay, so I downloaded like the Vallow news clips that I'm going to show you. You know how it always has like a thumbnail, like I don't know what you call it in a normal thing, but when the video, like for YouTube, like, you know, I create my own thumbnails, but like when you save a video in your files, it'll have like a picture of something part of the video. And it's a Vallow video, and it's saved in it's the back of Gabby's van, like with the van open. And I'm like, what the heck? This is a Vallow video. But when you click on it, like it shows the van really quick, and then it goes into the other thing. I don't know if it was just the end of another video or something. That's just so weird. Anyway, sorry. That's why I was just like, what's going on here? All right, so let me play these 2 news clips, and then we'll do the videos, like I said, or the interviews. All right, hold on.
Reveals questions about the death of Lori Vallow's 3rd husband.
According to Lori Vallow's friend and family, she often bragged about a failed attempt to actually murder him. News specialist Garna Mejia is in the newsroom with these startling new revelations. Garna?
Yeah, good evening, you guys. After Charles Vallow was killed, Lori's friends say they started taking her comments more seriously, including her statements that she had paid her brother, Alex Cox, to kill her 3rd husband, Joe Ryan. Now, Alex is connected to every death attributed to Lori Vallow.
There's got to be somewhere where they've talked this through, because Lori and Alex planned Joe's death.
Right after Lori's 4th husband, Charles Vallow, was killed, Adam Cox started raising red flags about Lori's self-defense justification. Adam is Lori's older brother and Charles's confidant.
Lori thinks that death is nothing.
When Lori's other brother, Alex Cox, shot and killed Charles,
I shot him to stop him.
Adam told detectives there was more to consider.
The history with Lori and Alex and Lori's ex-husbands. Yeah. And so there's a whole pattern of things there.
Lori and her 3rd husband, Joe Ryan, had a bitter custody battle over their daughter, Tylee Ryan, including Alex's 2007 physical assault of Joe.
And they planned out how they were going to kill Joe. And Al was going to taser him, throw him in the trunk, and take him out to a field and shoot him, and then bury him. Well, Al went to taser him, and it didn't work, and Joe called the cops, and Al went to jail.
Lori even told her friends.
So Lori had said before that she hired her brother to kill Joe because of stuff he did to him.
Joe survived.
She said eventually Joe's going to die for what he did.
And in 2018, Joe did die of an apparent heart attack in Arizona.
And it's odd that Joe, her ex-husband, supposedly died of a heart attack when they were desperate for money, and he left her $50,000 and Tylee gets $2,000.
Now, police in Phoenix briefly revisited Joe Ryan's case earlier this year, but they were not able to find a connection to Lori Vallow. We also have new developments in Idaho, where Judge Stephen Boyce has decided to hold Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell's trial outside of Fremont County. That's for the murders of the 2 children and Chad Daybell's late wife. Now, Boyce plans to stay on the case. He wants to hold a trial in Ada County, which would include Boise and a much larger population. Back to you.
Stephen Boyce is granting the defense team's change of venue. The order was made public just before 5 o'clock. It states that the trial will not take place in Fremont County. It suggests moving to Ada County, but that decision is not yet final. It's also not clear how this change of venue will pertain to Lori Vallow, as she is still being treated in a mental health facility.
Meanwhile, while that's all going on, we are getting a better picture into Chad and Lori's relationship. The Chandler, Arizona Police Department released dozens of pages of text messages between Vallow, Daybell, and other major players in the case.
Yeah, investigators there are looking into the death of Lori's then-husband, Charles Vallow. We already showed you video of Lori and her daughter, Tylee Ryan, being interviewed by detectives. But now Local News 8's Rachel Babby breaks down the other evidence.
In the days leading up to Charles Vallow's death in July 2019, he apparently had suspicions of an
Wait, I gotta say something. Am I like hallucinating? Okay, you saw the end of that one video. This is what I was muted. I'm sorry. You're hearing the audio on this, right? Okay, so you saw the end, and it ended in Gabby's van, and in the file it saved like, and it shows the Gabby's van, but this has nothing to do with Gabby. It's Vallow. And did you just hear that like that interject, like that little glitch, and it said Gabby? Did you guys hear that? It wasn't supposed to say Gabby. That lady, she was talking, and it like glitched out and it said Gabby. Like, what is going on? That is so weird. Okay, so you did too. I thought, wow. All right. Wow. Maybe Gabby's trying to talk to us. I don't know. That's weird. All right, let me continue this.
affair between Lori and Chad Daybell. The report shows an email to Daybell's now deceased wife Tammy on June 29th, writing in part, "I have vital and disturbing information regarding your husband and my wife." Tammy died October 19th after Chad Daybell said she was allegedly possessed by a dark spirit, writing, quote, "Tammy is in limbo, and a level 3 demonic entity named Viola is in her body. It happened at about 10 p.m. Chandler detectives believe that through August 2019, Chad and Lori appeared to have a difficult time maintaining their relationship due to him still being married. Lori texting in part, quote, "I'm just a distraction. Go have fun with your family. I really do want you to. I just can't be in the way anymore. If things change, we can talk, but we have nothing until things change anyway." Still, packed up her belongings and moved to Rexburg from Arizona by the end of August. The text messages continued with them, saying they would fight off evil spirits attaching to people around them. During their text messages, Chad and Lori would refer to each other as James and Elena or Raphael and Lily. In one of them, Chad calls Lori his goddess lover, while Lori listed Chad in her phone as Bubby. Finally, one investigator wrote, quote, "This relationship and religious beliefs would both lead to the deaths of their respective spouses." Since then, Lori has been charged with conspiracy to commit murder and the death of her former husband. She and Chad have also been charged in the deaths of Lori's 2 children, Joshua J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan, as well as Daybell's first wife, Tammy Daybell. The children's bodies were found in Chad Daybell's backyard in 2020. In Idaho Falls.
Okay, so I'm going to try to replay that part and see. It might just be a glitch that just happens to sound like that, but that mixed with the quick picture of flash of Gabby's van at the end of the other video. Okay, so it was when the lady was talking. Where is it? No. Oh, yeah. It must be when, because I know it was the news reporter was talking. Where is it? Right here. Okay, let's see if we hear it again. Like I said, it could just be a glitch that makes it sound like it, but still, it was weird. Okay.
Meanwhile, while that's all going on, we are getting a better picture into Chad and Lori's relationship. The Chandler, Arizona Police Department released dozens of pages of text messages between Vallow, Daybell, and other major players in the case.
Yeah, investigators there are looking into the death of Lori's then-husband, Charles Vallow. We already showed you video of Lori and her daughter, Tylee Ryan, being interviewed by detectives. But now Local News 8's Rachel Babby breaks down the other evidence.
Did you hear it? It's a glitch, but it sounds like this is Gabby. I don't know. And that mixed with here, I'll show you the end of this video. Hold on one second. Right there. Did you see that? And I downloaded this. It was a clip of this. It wasn't a Gabby video, but somehow, how is that at the beginning? And then after, then you hear the glitch and it sounds like she says Gabby. Isn't that weird? Look. This is the Vallow video. It was for a split second it comes on and then I don't know, guys. Anyway, all right. So let's get to the interviews now. Let me remove this. Remove and then. Okay, so we're gonna do Melanie's first. Yeah, I know. It's just kind of neat. Maybe she's trying to talk to us. I don't know. It's just wow. Hey, Shelly, Kathy, Caitlin, Tony, Bella in the house, Kubi in the house. All right, Aussie girl Jen, what's up, Rose Ellen? All right, so let's play Melanie. And I might stop it. I'm not going to stop it a bunch through the interviews, but maybe like when there's certain things that I have to respond, so it'll be kind of a discussion or reaction type thing. So I hope you guys don't get too mad. I'll try not to stop it a lot, but like if there's something I feel like maybe we should chat about after as we're watching it. So okay, so let's do Melanie's first. Now I forget which one, because I put those intros. I think it's this one. Yeah. Here we go.
I'm recording.
Okay.
So.
I'm going to talk over this while there's music playing. You never know. Like, YouTube is strict sometimes. And that little faint music, that could, who knows. But thanks, Char. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you so much. I was getting in the middle of actually writing it out. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk while they're... Look, they got rock stars. They're both drinking rock stars. That used to be my energy drink. Rock stars in 5 hours. But I still, man, I haven't had that. What was it? The cotton candy. Remember I was drinking it? I got a couple months ago. I need to buy a couple more. They're so good. Anyway, so I'll just talk a little bit while we're waiting for her to Kim. I don't remember if it's I'm just going to mute it for a minute. I forget how long it takes. I didn't think there was a big wait for Melanie. I know some of them, like Alex, there's a little bit of a wait. I didn't remember Melanie had a big wait. I should have just edited this part out. I'm sorry. Like on my when I uploaded it, I should have edited this out. The reason though I don't sometimes is because sometimes you could hear like them talking. Like the one you could hear, was it Zulema? No, it couldn't have been Zulema's. I feel like the one you could hear Alex in the background, or you could hear somebody, but then also you could hear them talking as they're coming up. So I was like, in case if somebody catches something, but this part where you just hear the music, I guess I could edit it out. Sorry. I don't know how far. Oh, well, I'll just talk to you while we're waiting. Hey, Starseed. Hey, Dot. Randy wants a fax in the house. Oh, thanks, Char. Thank you, Jenny. Ugh, those big energy drinks always have the grossest aftertaste. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Is it coming? Oh, shoot. Hold on. Oh.
Good to see. I'm good.
Hold on. I'm going to rewind it a little bit so we get. Okay, so. You can hear him coming up.
Yeah, I feel special. I get to know other people. I know, right?
Yeah, you're in a deep dark part of the parking now.
Well, that's not good.
Water? Do you need another water?
I don't think so. No, I think I'll be good. All right, if you do.
The date's on here. So this was April 30th of this year. So wait, do you guys remember? This is what I was trying to figure out when I was watching this. What was the date of the preliminary hearing of Chad's preliminary hearing? Mods, can you check real quick? Or I guess I can when I have it playing, because I want to see how that is compared to this date. I'll check and I'll let you know in the chat. All right, I'm gonna play it.
Give us a yell. Yeah.
We'll yell.
Hey.
How are you?
Good to see. I'm good.
Good.
Is Duncan going to be around?
Duncan's just on another case right now, so if he finishes up, I will let you know that you asked.
Yeah, I like him. He's fun. He was fun. He's a jokester.
He's a good guy.
He was. I get to work with him every day.
Oh, good for you.
Except we never wear socks.
Odd. Does he not have sweaty feet?
No, he wears those little tiny, what are they called? They're not anklets.
Like this?
Like the no-shows.
Oh, the no-shows.
Yeah.
Now see, those creep down to me.
Yeah.
And then they go under and they make your feet uncomfortable.
What's weird about it is when he sits down, Bob's pants go up, you see his shoes and there's like that much, because he's so tall, long-legged. Nothing, no socks.
So we always tease him about, man, are you wearing socks today?
It's almost girly-like, because girls have more ankle
Or did you cut the little ball off the back of your socks?
I bet you guys are fun. Oh,
How are you?
I'm
Been a long time.
good. No, I'm good. I'm married now.
That's what I understand, good.
Awesome, congrats.
And we still are married, according to a gossip that's out there that we're separated. That's the gossip.
You know, I may have saw that somewhere.
And I'm like, who comes up with this stuff?
Caught me by surprise a little bit.
And I was like, they got the gossip. You know what I heard? I don't follow me. I don't look up any information about what people say about me. Don't want to know, don't care. Anyway, but somebody told me, did you know that you and David were married on 12/12? That's 12 times 12 is 144. Like the 144,000 I went.
Oh my God.
I was like, I never ever put that together. And then it was Alex's death. Didn't even know it was his death. Didn't even know. Because I didn't memorize the
12th of
day.
December?
That's what they said. And I was like,
Yeah, he did that.
I'm glad that they know more than I know about myself. And I was
It's
like,
crazy. It's crazy.
people, you guys are like,
Melanie, there's
why
not-
do you spend your life looking at another person and gossiping about them? That is so bad.
Some people, and really with this case, that are so involved with it, is like, it seems like it's just consumed their lives.
It's consuming. It's
And
addiction.
they're always posting, they're always looking, always coming with these little things.
Oh, it's so gross. I don't know what else they're saying, and I don't want to know. So I always tell people, don't tell me. Don't want to know what they're saying. Just leave me alone. So I don't know too much more. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So David's still up there in Utah?
Yeah, and he said that if you wanted to, he was going to come down and help me with some moving. I decided, no, I'm keeping my stuff in storage for another month.
Okay.
So he says if you need him, I could call him. He's standing by.
I don't think we need to talk to him.
Yeah, he said, I'll do what I can, but I don't really think I'm that useful. But he is a little bit.
He's useful.
He is useful because he's another witness.
Yeah, he's useful.
He's useful.
And a pretty good guy, I think. But there may be an opportunity. We may have to sit down and have a chat with him, kind of like we're just trying to butt things up a little bit.
Good.
Cross T's, dot I's, and then prepare for what's possibly coming here in the near future.
The trials. The trials.
Anyway, so it's been a long time since we've chatted, and so in that period of time, Ray, myself, Benny, other detectives gone over quite a bit of stuff.
Okay.
And also quite a bit of stuff with you.
Yeah.
So in going over that stuff and talking to other people, more questions come to mind that we may not have known back then.
Okay.
And so this is where it's important that we sit down and talk with you again and kind of get that all out in the open and try to figure out exactly what has happened here and what it was going on.
Okay.
Even, you know, when they moved to Idaho, but maybe even prior to moving to Idaho.
Okay.
So that's what we'll talk about a little bit. Melanie, one of our main objectives here is we are trying to block off any type of avenues here that somebody's saying we may not have checked out.
Okay.
Okay. So in doing that, some of these questions popped up, and I want you to be honest with me. And I don't have any reason.
I'm always going to be 100% honest with you.
To believe that you haven't.
Okay.
But what I do want you, anything that we talk about that you don't think is important, ask it. So what I don't want to happen here is Melanie to think, well, you know what, and I don't know if that's happening. I hope not, but something you might be holding back on us, thinking, well, I'm not sure if I really want them to know that.
Okay.
Unless they ask me a direct question about it.
Okay.
You know, we don't want to have to be pulling information out of you.
Okay.
just be an open book and tell us.
Absolutely.
And it'll make this a whole lot faster.
Yeah.
So, last time we talked to you, we didn't really hit this portion up very hard, but I want to talk to you a little bit about these castings.
Uh-huh.
Is that what you referred to them as, or are you new to them?
Yeah, I think so.
What else were they referred to as?
It's been a while since I thought about it, so I can describe how it came about and what it sounded like, if that helps, because I don't really know what else to call it than that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you know the idea of casting out is to help evil spirits leave the body, right? That's the whole premise from Christ.
Well, I've never heard of it being, well, okay, so I know that
let's go back to Christ.
casting out demons, and
Yeah.
I understand that.
That's the premise, that's all. That's all it is. I mean, that's what the idea is to get, if there is an evil spirit in you, then you ask in the name of Christ that that evil spirit leave. That's what it's about. Okay.
So sometimes in my mind, I'm having a little trouble trying to picture this.
Okay.
But like, if I look at this, I'm like, such and such has a evil spirit in them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would call a group together to have a prayer and a casting.
Yeah.
Or if I would just, in my own personal prayer, say, Lord, will you help this person out?
Right. I don't agree with it. But I want you to know that's what the idea. Anything I tell you, I don't agree with. But that's how it came about in the time. So how it started was this. We were in Suleiman's house. Probably in January. I don't know how to remember the date other than I was trying to think of sequences,
Okay.
So there was Christina and Nicole. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
And Serena was there. I was there, Sulema was there, and Lori was there. And maybe Sulema's daughter might have been in the house, but I don't remember. And so she was talking to everybody about that Charles now had this evil spirit in him, okay? So that was kind of what they were talking about.
Okay, tell me about that evil spirit. Did the evil spirit have a name?
Yeah, remember we talked about it. It's the Ned guy.
Right.
That's what they
Okay.
said he was. He was this Ned person, okay? All right. So she's kind of talking to the girls, and they're all kind of talking about what's going on. And she's like, I don't know what we're supposed to do about this. How do we get, how do I do this? I don't understand what this is. So nobody has any information about casting out at this point. And then Christina, she starts talking about something. This was all beyond me because I didn't do the energy work. I mean, I had energy work done to me before, but I don't know how to do it. And I don't know if Christina knew about it or not. I'm not sure. But Christina started talking about, man, I don't know how she brought it up now. It's been a long time for me to remember. I don't know how they start talking about it, but somehow they start talking about casting out somehow. And then they all started joining in. I was listening because I didn't have any comment to make to it. I was like, I don't know. And then they were trying to figure out, she was trying to help solve the problem. Like, if this Ned is in him, how do we get him out? Or I don't even know if that was the right word at the time, get him out. But
Can I stop real quick?
yeah.
Remind me how she knew that was Ned.
Okay, that was, remember when Chad made the phone call? Lori and I were in her house, one of her houses she lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Not the last house, but the one prior to the last one. Because I remember where I was at certain times, so I remember the house. Anyway, so I remember she was coming in the door. It seemed like we just did a podcast with a couple of men. So we just did that podcast. They left. And Chad calls and says, hey, I want to let you know that I did some research and figured out that this Ned. Oh, it's been a while since I thought about this. Ned.
That's all right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you even forgetting details. It's been 2 years, right? Or something like that. So Ned, Schneider, thank you. And Ned Schneider is in him. And she was taken back a little bit because it was a new concept for her. She didn't know about that this could happen. So this was introduced from Chad. Absolutely 100% sure of that. Okay. So then she was ruminating over that idea for a while. They were talking.
How are you 100% sure that was introduced by Chad to her?
Because I'm watching them talk on the phone, and after that conversation, she shares with me, this is what Chad just shared with me.
All right.
And so she didn't look like she made it up because she had never talked that way before. She never said anything like, hey, there's an evil spirit, and that never occurred to her. So when she first told me, I could tell she was like trying to absorb it. It looked like it was new for her. And so so that's where it came from. And so I'm sure they had a lot of conversations, which I wasn't privy to. So then when she came together in January with all these girls, she was talking about this problem she had about this Ned person now coming in. And she said that her reasoning for that was that Satan was breaking eternal law, and that he could now do this, like he had some kind of power to do this. And so now these evil spirits are able to get into these bodies. So if we use you as an example, Ron is no longer Ron, he's, Phil. When Phil comes in, he is now, I'm really dealing with Phil. I'm not really dealing with Ron anymore.
Because Ron's gone.
Ron's gone. He went to the spirit world or whatever, someplace, right? And so, anyway, as we talked around the girl, they were trying to figure out, well, how do we do this? How do we get this spirit out? So they sat there and talked about it. And a lot of the wording that they used, which I can't recall all of it, but it had to do with features that they learned from energy work. Different weapons and different stones or different things that they had learned through a spiritual means, talking about, hey, and they came up with this stuff. I did not come up with it because I didn't even know what to say about any of it.
Did they come up with it, or did Lori assign them something?
No, at first they talked about it as a group. They were like, well, what can we do? And it seemed like Christina started bringing it out first, actually. She's the one that, and I'm trying to remember the words, but I can't really remember what she said. I just remember, she's like, I remember her sitting down with her one day and go, what can we do to help you, Lori? She was sincere, and I was thinking, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what that looks like. And so anyway, they started talking and getting different ideas, and so she was told that she had this priesthood power. Now that Moroni gave it to her in the temple, she suddenly had this priesthood power that women were now getting it, because you know that they don't have it in church, right?
Did you find that odd?
Yeah, everything's odd. But at the same time, because I was on this, so I had listened to some podcasts she had learned. So it wasn't super odd for a person that had listened to Julie Rowe or Mike Stroud, because they were talking about how to, now if you go back and listen to those two, she doesn't come up with this stuff herself. This has been coming up by other people, okay?
Well, right, and I know that the big picture, it's all a little weird, but when you hear, because, you're LDS,
yeah.
When you hear something as in Moroni appeared to her in the temple and gave her priesthood powers, what did you think about that?
Well, let me back up to when I first met her to help you understand how I got involved with her. Jason Mou's the one that introduced me to her. He met her in the temple and said, hey, there's like-minded people that are spiritual, da-da-da. Here's Melly's information. So she meets me and she hears me talking a little bit because I'm doing something for a steak event. It was really normal and good, and, it had to do with, like natural preparedness kind of things, something that we all can learn and enjoy. Anyway, afterwards, she's in the back with Melanie. And then I came out, and then she came out, and Melanie was still in there because there was other classes going on. And she was just so excited to meet me. And she was like, she's talking about people she knew, like Mike Stroud, or not knew, but knew of from podcasts, and Julie Rowe, and her change of heart. And I said, well, I've been changed to Christ, and my experience is a normal experience that somebody would have, but she was like mirroring me, and I was like, I think she's mirroring me, because I didn't know that then. I didn't know her, so I would have no way of knowing. But anyway, she was like, oh, I've been changed by Christ. And I said, well, I have too. And it was in a more significant way than maybe what I experienced at church. It was a beautiful experience that I had. And so, but there was nothing odd about it. It was just beautiful, And so she said that she had the same, and she was super excited. And then she said, well, I said, you must have been through a really, a lot of challenges in your life to be able to have these experiences. She goes, well, she says, I've had some special experiences with the Lord in the temple. And she might have said Moroni at the time too. She might have. I can't remember if that was the next time I saw her or not. And I was like, wow, what have you been through? And she's like, well, my kid was raped by her father, and who would have know, that probably is a lie. But anyway, she was bringing this story about all her trials, and they sounded genuine to me. I did not think she would. I don't think people are manipulating. That's one of my weaknesses. I don't manipulate. I don't know how to. So I was so foreign to it that I was like, oh, she can't be lying to me. She sounds just like me as far as my testimony of Christ. Now, not all the crazy stuff, but just that normal kind of sisterly bond that you would have with somebody in church. So then she tells me, well, because we had listened to Mike Stroud, he talked about 144,000 and about how people are going to be called to help be instruments in God's hands of bringing people together, like the lost tribes and different things in the last days. And so she says, well, I've had these experiences, and I know that I'm part of the 144,000. The Lord sealed me his in the temple kind of thing. And I didn't necessarily disbelieve it. It wasn't a new thought for me, because I had listened to different podcasters talk about some of their experiences, and I didn't think that they were lying either, because they sounded like it matched Mormon doctrine. All of it did. Because I'd read the scriptures a lot, and I thought, well, I know about these things, but somebody's actually having them. And so, but people can have real experiences, but somebody can take that and act like that as their own.
Sure.
And I think that's what she did, is she took some information that could or couldn't have been true. I don't know if the guy had it or if he was deceived. I don't know that personally. But anyway, she learned a lot about, in Julie Rowe, they talked about casting out. They talked about when evil spirits, you put your arm to the square, you cast out, you use, and then talked about love is your most powerful weapon. And different weapons. He would say different weapons. I don't know if he described them, but he just talked about love as the most powerful weapon we can use against the adversary. So I don't know, maybe she took that, and then she took Julie Rowe's freaked out stuff, but she's whacked. But she was heavily into the energy work, and a lot of these things were like coming through, all these weapons and different things and evil spirits around you. So I remember one time she told me when she was in Hawaii, before I ever met her, so this was when she was living there, she recalled a moment. She goes, I remember, Melanie, I woke up, an angel woke me up and said, you need to email Julie Rowe and tell her that she's a true servant. And I was thinking, wow, well, maybe Julie, because I didn't think Lori was lying to me. I thought she was really enlightened. And anyway, she believed in this. And anyway, she said she finally figured, she said, I can't even email, or I don't do Facebook. She's like, I just finally read the back of the book, had the email on it, and just said, you are a servant, and that's it. And she just said, Lori. And that's all she said. She sent off and went back to bed. So I was thinking, wow. Okay. And so... So when her and I met that day, she's like, I know that Moroni, she must have told me about Moroni, or he was a savior. I know that he's called me to be part of that 144,000 to help other women. I'm to gather other women, something like that, and help them be part of the gathering kind of thing, okay? So her and I go to the temple. We go to the Phoenix temple because I remember the Gilbert temple was closed. So we're going in there. This is, if you're LDS, you're going to be surprised by this. This is where the deception really began. I go into the temple, and I'm going in the dressing room. We're getting our white clothes on, and she is in the dressing stall. And I come out, and I stand behind. They have an arch window in the Phoenix temple, right in the women's room. And I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I get this like heat all over my head, and I'm like, "What's that?" So I said, "Lori," and she comes out. I said, "Feel my head," and she goes, "Oh, it's happening." And I was like, yeah, it's really hot on top of it. I didn't have a fever. Nowhere else on my body was hot. And it wasn't because the sun was coming through. It was really like this heat. And it lasted for, I don't know, like a minute or two. Mm. And she's like, wow, it's happening. I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty awesome. I'm thinking that's good. And so anyway, we go into a couple of different rooms. I don't want to share too much because it's the temple. Right. But anyway, she thinks that she has the power to ordain me at that point. To be part of this 144,000. And so she says a little prayer. That's her thing, her little prayers. And
did she say she got the keys to ordain you?
Yeah, from the Lord himself and from Moroni herself in the temple, in the initiatories, in a certain location in the initiatories. And the interesting thing, I told this to Rob, the same place that Suleiman said she saw the Lord was the same place he said. And I was like, how did that happen where she said the same place? And he goes, well, Melanie, people can have some psychological word. I don't remember what he called it. So the psychological word that she had this experience in. And I was like, well, I never had anything like that. So I don't have the experience they do because I don't have visionary experiences. That's not me. But that's not my gift. So I just assumed that because they had them, they knew more than me. well, if they can see that, I can't see it. Maybe I don't doubt that people can have gifts like that. I'm very much a believer in that. Yeah. So that was a bit on the odd side. That happened to me in the temple. And I've asked other people that work in the temple and different things. They said, well, they can bring Satan in with them. I'm like, oh, yeah, they can. Mm-hmm. So that was sad. So that's where my confidence came from with her, because I'm in the temple of my God. That happens to me.
Sure.
So I had to, you can imagine after all this happened, I had to read back and go think, and it's like, all those things you thought were revelation, get rid of them. Don't even remember. Don't go back to try to figure out, Heavenly Father, what happened here? I thought I was on your team.
Sure.
And I cried to the Lord. I said, I cheated on you. I broke my heart because I was that absolutely gobsmacked by it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with these castings, and the first one you're involved in was at Zelina's house, and
I can't remember if they did it that night or the next day, or I don't remember, but it was.
Was it still at Zelina's house? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Pretty sure.
And was that just for Charles?
Oh, absolutely, because that's the only person they knew had that issue at the time, according to their pretend revelation. I call it pretend because who knows what they're listening to.
Describe to me how
they did it?
How they did it.
Okay, so they were trying to figure out first how to do it, and so they were all coming up with different ideas, and I wasn't familiar with their vernacular. They would say things like, like Melanie would coin the phrase, probably like some kind of malachite or something after a while. Like malachite's a gem. Mm-hmm. So they thought that gem had powers. You know how like in the chakra world people get into stones and stuff like that? They kind of brought that into that. So they thought that had the power. And then
those malachite rings or the malachite stone?
Well, she eventually got that, yeah, but that was okay. Right. Like the malachite stone. And then I remember Serena having a moment where she was like, we just need to ask, I don't know, it's a question. I remember it triggered something like, we need to ask permission for something. Anyway, sorry, it's been too long. And it was weird that something happened that night that was strange. Sulema and was it Serena? It's almost like they got attacked by an evil spirit. Like all of a sudden, Sulema's sitting there talking, and all of a sudden she can't breathe. Like she's like, I'm having a hard time breathing. I'm like, what is that about? And then Serena, it seemed like something happened to her where something happened to her. And Nicole, or maybe it was Nicole. I know Nicole had something with, Nicole's a sweet, gentle soul, if you ever met her. And she just all of a sudden got really depressed and really heavy and quiet. So anyway, they were obviously opening darkness anyway. So they would say, well, anytime darkness comes after you, it's because you're doing the right thing. So it's an oppositional idea, sure. Right? And so anyway, they would just basically, she would raise her arm to the square, Lori would, and then she would say through her priesthood power, which she believed she had the patriarchal power, which was higher than the Melchizedek power, okay? Sorry if this is confusing, I don't know.
I'm following you.
He's following you.
I'm be patient. And Chad would help groom her into these beliefs and ideas. He would help her believe more and more, like, you're the most powerful woman in the world, whatever. And so anyway, they would just, each one of them had like a little something to say, like how they could help in a loving manner. It wasn't like an evil or a dark, like a yucky kind of a voice. It was, or I'm mad at you kind of a voice. It was like, come to the light, or something like that. And so the only part I pitched in was my testimony of Jesus Christ. I didn't have anything else to offer than that, because I was like, well, Jesus did this, and look at what's his name, and look at Paul the apostle, and and I was just trying to share my little part, because I was like, all these people, I don't know. And so anyway, that's just how she did it. And so she would, and I think she kind of did it more on her own as she got more closer to Chad, and everybody's kind of started leaving the group, like Nicole and what's her name, Christina were out, and then Serena was out early. Thank goodness on their part they were out early. And it's only because Lori was getting jealous, or how the jealousy can get in, and she was worried because Serena would call Chad too much, and then Chad was like, well, she has more intentions than this, and then they cut her out of the group. Just stupid stuff like that.
So you think that they cut Serena out of the group because Lori was jealous?
Well, I think, so he would say, this is how it started. He'd say, she keeps calling me. Serena keeps calling me, asking more and more questions. And then he would tell that to Lori. And Lori would talk to him about that and say, oh, she wants to learn more power, and she's actually now getting darker because she's getting like Julie Rowe or something something stupid like that. And then so pretty soon they had deemed her more dark, and she just needed to, they just cut her off. Basically means, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. So she went out of the country and came back. She got sick, and she was asking, like, what happened? Was some evil spirit touched me when I was there? And Serena had a hard time swallowing all this. After I came to her and said, these people are bad, she was like, you mean they lied about that and that? And I'm like, Serena. And I had told her the whole story, everything that they killed the kids, and I really felt they did. And she was like, and we went to the temple.
Okay, so this is, did you guys catch what she just said there? Tell me if I'm not understanding this right, because when she's talking about killing the kids, it's obviously before they knew that they were dead, right? Because she said, I felt like that they did. Is she just admitting right there that she knew that they, or had a really good idea that they killed him before it was official, right? Did you guys hear how she worded that? I mean, to me, that's admitting, like, let me play it again real quick. See how she words that? Because it's one thing if she's talking about after the fact that it was confirmed, but because how she says that, it's like it's before that they knew for sure. You following me? I'll replay that part real quick. Hold on.
And she's like,
let me see. Hopefully I won't do it too bad.
Country and came back. She got sick, and she was asking, like, what happened? Was some evil spirit touched me when I was there? And Serena had a hard time swallowing all this. After I came to her and said, these people are bad, she was like, you mean they lied about that and that? I'm like, Serena. And I had told her the whole story, everything that they killed the kids, and I really felt they did. And she was like, and we went to the temple, and she's like, Melanie, did they lie about this?
Just say that. I guess it could be because they haven't been proven for sure guilty. Maybe that's how she worded that. What do you guys think? Do you think that she was talking about before, like she told Serena that before they knew, like that they found the bodies, or is she saying like that it was after? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Originally, I thought that, but then I'm like, well, maybe she's just saying that because we still don't know for sure. I mean, we all have a pretty good idea, but they haven't been proven guilty. So yet, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think she had a feeling anyway, but I'm like, did she just admit it? Like, she holds back so much, guys. Just watch. She's like, oh, I don't remember this. I don't remember that. Same with Zulema. We'll get to Zulema's, not tonight, but we'll get to hers one. We'll do the rest some other night on a live soon. Okay, I'll shut up.
I'm like, Serena, the whole thing is a lie. And she was so convinced. She was so convinced. And she's a very intelligent woman. She's a very beautiful and amazing woman. But she was just sucked into it. And so, and it had a lot to do with the preparation work, had a lot to do with learning things outside of Chad and Lori before we even got together, like, you know, the podcast people. And that prepared Lori to meet Chad. I remember hearing that recording about her sister saying something like to Rob in that little room that they got in trouble, you know, obviously didn't get in trouble, but, you know, tried to get in trouble with the defendants. And she was saying, I think that her podcast, she named who the podcast people were, but I choose not to use the names of people on the internet openly. But she said, I believe she learned those teachings from this podcaster, and then when she met Chad, and it was an easy, oh yeah, I'm already prepared kind of thing. So that first day that they met, she was already prepared for Chad because of these podcasts that she'd been listening, which actually kind of got, you know, went from Chad to this, you know, Julie. So they kind of were connected a lot more ahead. They worked together quite a bit, and that's where he learned a lot of his energy work from, I believe. That's because I don't know that he knew about it until Julie Rowe, because Julie Rowe's the one that brought this whole emotion code and energy work and all that. She's the one that really opened that up. And then he switched from being with that one lady, Suzanne Freeman, and then he dumped her. I call it dump because he just kind of moved from one person to the other. And they went to Julie Rowe, and then he dumped Julie Rowe, and then he went to Lori. So he kind of kept doing this. Probably for money, you know, he's really into his books, so he wanted to make money, and I've learned that he made a lot of money off Julie books. I recently learned that, but from a good source. But so this is what the castings really were about, is to invite the spirits to leave, or with their so-called power or their, you know, things that they would bring. I never thought this was like a huge deal. I mean, I talked a little bit about it before. All I said to is like we did prayer, you know, she did prayers to help cast or something. I don't know how I said it, but to me, it has no effect. It didn't do, there was no power in what she did, so it had nothing to do with anything because it was all by Satan. Or if it, now, when Julie Clement got involved, I remember one night we were at Lori's, the last house she was in before Charles died. I think he was still alive. And I remember they were doing a prayer, and Julie Clement and Sulema with their, I don't know, energy, they both do energy work. They're saying, she's like, I saw this dragon, something like this, and I know Sulema said she saw that later, and I didn't see anything. So that's just what they imagined in their, I don't know, this, you know, some evil spirit tricking them, something.
How many castings do you think that you were involved in?
Gosh, I don't know. I'd have to make a guess because I wouldn't know.
What would you guess?
Maybe 10? Maybe. I'm not sure. And they were just for chat, for, I think most of them were on Charles, and not the kids. And Tammy, I mean, I know they probably did. I don't know what they did with the kids. I don't have any idea on that part. They probably, I'm not sure on Tammy. Maybe?
Let me ask you about Tammy then.
Yeah.
Was Chad there, or was it just Lori?
Well, they did, there was one, I can't remember who it was though. Sometimes these things, I don't remember all of it, because sometimes I was often detached from a lot of it because I was involved in my own personal life. Sure. So I necessarily not was, you know.
And I know I'm asking a lot to try to reach back and grab.
Yeah, so we were in a circle, we were holding hands, and Charles had passed away, so it had to have been somebody else because Charles was dead. And Sulema, she started talking about that. She was into, you know, moving the earth and the earthquakes and all that. You probably know that. She thought she had the power to do that. And I remember Chad and Lori said something, and I don't know if anybody else said anything. So who was it?
So Chad was there in the circle.
Oh, yeah.
Lori was there.
Yep. And I think Melanie and Alex, Sulema, me and David. David doesn't remember any of it. You can ask him. He's blocked it, dude. He was so blocked. He can't remember it.
And this was after Charles died.
This was right after he died when we had that little meeting. Remember how I said we got together one time in Charles's house?
So that would be like
July probably. Yeah. But he died July
11th.
7. I always try to remember 7/11. Okay. So, yeah.
You recall how soon after that was?
Weeks. Within weeks.
Do you think it's still in July?
David had to have been in town. That's the only way I can track it.
But this casting was for what reason?
To continue to help the spirits that are in the bodies to talk them out of leaving their bodies.
Okay. What bodies?
I think it could have been Tammy. It might have been Brandon, maybe. That's the only two I could think of. That would be the only two I can think of, because if they said anything about that, I have no memory of that. So no memory. And definitely, well, because not JJ, definitely, because JJ wasn't deemed a zombie until, you know, September, right?
Okay.
So they would definitely not have done it about JJ. So probably Tammy and Brandon, because they said Brandon was definitely at this high level, dark.
I don't want you, I mean, I appreciate you saying it was probably either one of these two or maybe both, but I need you to remember who was who was trying to be casted. If it was both, fine, but you know, if it was just one.
I know it's.
Think about it.
I can't even remember what Chad Lori said.
Okay.
I remember she always used her priesthood power, and then she was like, "Go ahead, take it over, Zulema." I remember that.
All right. So Were you?
Because Sulema remembers. Yes?
Some things. Some things.
Okay.
Refresh my memory when you were up here in Idaho.
September?
You dated in September. Was there a casting done at Lori's house?
Not that I can recall. I tried to remember, like, do we have any castings? Not that I recall.
Or did you have a, how about a prayer? Where you guys got together and just had a prayer or anything like that?
Well, normal prayers like on a flute or something,
Right.
possibly like that. I don't recall.
Okay.
I mean, I could say maybe, but I don't remember.
So as far as the castings, none of them took place in Idaho that you were present at?
Not that I can recall.
Okay.
I'm doing my best to remember,
I know.
but it's horrifying to think about it, but I don't know.
Okay. So the ones you may have been involved in were the ones here in Arizona, and that would have been at Lori's house,
Yeah.
Zulima's house.
Mm-hmm.
Where else?
I remember when she was in Charles's house, in the one in Houston, or was it Houston or no, the other city? I always forget what city it was. Remember she lived in Florida
Texas?
and Texas. Remember that? I remember she was. I can't remember if I was. It seemed like she was on the phone with Chad. I remember her talking about Charles because he was in the house. She was really. That's right. She was really into. She was really into Charles's. She kept saying, "Oh, he's getting broken down. He's getting broken down. He's getting weaker. He's getting weaker. We're just we're doing things to help, get him weaker, get his, spirit out of his body, kind of a thing." They were like working on him. I remember that a lot.
So let me ask you this: were there any castings that you weren't present? You were just on the phone with them.
So there was in the beginning. There was a phone call. That's right. Good. Thank you for reminding me. Serena, Sulema. At one point, Melanie joined in,
Melanie
and Nicole,
Gibb, or
Melanie Boudreau. Oh, wait. Sorry, I remembered one. Let me just stick to that one for right now. I'm sorry.
That's right.
All over the place. This is not enjoyable for me.
It's all right.
This sucks. Anyway.
We'll get through it.
So yes, there was this phone thing because she was doing it through Zoom. It was a Zoom thing. And so they were like everybody had their own little parts. Like I just said, like mine, I just talked about Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
But theirs one was over fire elements or something, wind, fire, earth. I don't know, just they came up with some funky words. And not that they were horrible words, they were just not usual, putting them together in a sentence kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it. Mm-hmm. It's very unusual. So yeah, they did that a few times on the phone. And then she just Dolores just kind of got tired of doing it with them. She was like, "Oh, this person talks too much." She'd get irritated with people. Like, I think she was always jealous. Anyway, so yeah, that was on the phone, and I don't know how many times, but I'd say a handful. Maybe they tried it maybe 2 or 3 times. Maybe I don't know. And then one time, okay, so you know the house she moved in the first time, Alex's house, right after she left Charles the first time.
Mm-hmm.
She went to Alex's house for a while. She had Serena on the phone, and Melanie was new to it, and she really didn't know what was going on. So it was the first time Melanie was exposed to it. And I remember we were holding hands, and I remember she said, "My hands got really hot and they got really cold." I was like, okay, not my experience, right? And then Serena kind of related to that. They were talking on the phone. And that was the night she came up with this idea, this map thing of zombies in the world. Arizona, Utah, Idaho, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then she's like, okay, Chad says, and she'd be on the phone, how many zombies in this state?
She called him by name, Chad.
I knew she was talking to him.
How'd you know he was talking to him?
Well, I just did. I don't know. I knew it.
By name?
I'm sure she did, but I just know she was talking to him. Who else was she going to get this information from?
I don't know.
No, she was into him. She was way into Chad. She was infatuated with him, big time. There was nobody else she could ever talk to about it. Nobody else could have given her that information. Nobody. I guarantee it was nobody else. I just know it was him only. Because who else is she going to call? She doesn't know anybody that talks like Chad. She didn't know anybody. She wasn't friends with these podcasters. She didn't even know Julie Rowe. She never met her.
Okay.
So, anyway, and I could have maybe possibly heard his voice if she had a speaker sometime. I'm sure that happened at times. So I knew it was them talking. And she was on the phone a lot, in the car a lot. She was talking to him, and I just knew she was talking to him. And so, anyway, he would say, okay, there's, I don't know, grab a number, 100 in this state, something in this state, and then throughout the whole world. And so he got this, like, these people, or these entities are in other people's bodies. So her idea was, it was for her to get rid of the zombies. The idea was for her thought she had the power to cast out, she'd say in the name of whatever, and with her power. And then he would check, oh, there's none left in the state, So anyway, that's how she did it. So anyway, I remember that conversation was kind of going on that night. And then, I don't know the heck they were talking about that night. I don't know who. I'm sure it was Charles. And I think it was probably for the world too. It probably was. And anyway, everybody was just holding hands. And anyway, they all said their little, whatever they could come up with, they think of that would help encourage this spirit to leave, or encourage them. And it wasn't done it didn't seem like it was done out of any unkindness or anything like that. It was just a matter of, like, if you were to invite somebody to leave. I think they started using different weapons that had light in them to help that encourage that spirit to come out of the body by those words. But it had no power. So I haven't worried about it since I've left Lori. I was like, she didn't have any power. She can't hurt me. I'm not worried about her. So obviously I didn't believe in it to the level of worrying about my life, right? So that's kind of it. I mean, is there something you're kind of looking at that might help you more?
Well, I really want to just dive into these.
Yeah, to kind of understand them? Yeah.
My understanding, and we may have hit a little bit on this in our first interview, but my understanding is that the spirits, in order for the spirit to be taken out of the body, it has to be casted out. However, if that body is or the spirit in that body is a certain darkness, just casting them out doesn't prevent it
from coming back out.
From coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and there's certain ways that that body can be destroyed.
Body or the spirit?
Or spirit.
Well, I don't know if it can be destroyed.
The spirit?
I don't know if they can be destroyed. I don't know if the Father
you never heard
spirits.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not saying they believe that. I'm just saying you and I personally, I don't think they can be destroyed.
When we talk about this, I'm trying to.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to dive into their world.
Okay, their world. Sorry, because you're sharing personal. So okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that they thought they could destroy them either, though. They were just trying to get them to the point where, I don't know, maybe
I had a dark spirit in a body.
Yeah.
I mean, a dark spirit.
Yeah.
And that body, or no, excuse me, that spirit is cast out of that body. What enters that body next? Can it be a light spirit or can it be a dark spirit?
Oh, so that did occur with Charles, they said. So, okay, this was the first thing, is they were trying to cast out normal, like casting out, right? But they said, oh, no, it's still in there. Chad would deem it still in there. We can't get him out. They're breaking eternal law, right? This is what we're saying.
Okay.
They cast his personal spirit out and then put a new one in. So then they finally said, we got him out finally. Through our priesthood powers, we got him out. Now, who's the next one? Garrett? Garrett was the next one that came into Charles. And this was supposed to be a more advanced, darker spirit.
Okay, so if
according to them.
If the body keeps receiving dark spirit,
yeah.
Does that body have to be destroyed?
Oh, no, see, they were learning. It was a never figured out. This was Chad pretending more and more along the way, is my opinion now. It's like, he was just like, okay, that didn't work, but what can I come up with to keep Lori happy, right? And let me just figure this out and come up with, I don't know if he even played all the way through, because Lori was so pushy about being with him, and I think he was so infatuated, which you and I both know he was with her. I think he just got more creative in his darkness. And I think it just went on line by line by line. I don't think That's my
Okay.
feeling. I could be wrong. Maybe he had the whole. Some people say, oh, you know, a writer, you know, knows the end of it. I don't know.
All right, so let me ask you this then. With these castings, we know that, or I think we know, it was with Charles. They tried casting Charles.
Yeah.
They at one point tried casting Brandon.
I think so. It feels familiar. I'll just say that because they deemed him as really dark after. Right about the time, probably either right after Charles died, because then they were trying to help Melanie, because now she would go hooks into Melanie. She got totally taken out by Lori. And oh, Brandon is all these things, and he's now, not only is he dark, he's actually, we found out more about him. So first he's this. Oh, wait, we discovered more about him. Now now we know he's actually a high level, he's like up there with Hitler kind of thing, right?
Right.
And yeah,
Did they ever say that?
he was one of the Hitler crowd. He was one of the group that associated with Hitler. Mm-hmm.
Was he?
Yeah, did you know that?
I must have missed that somewhere.
Yeah, well, you're not missing much.
But Tammy.
Oh, so Tammy was, let's see, that's a good one, because that one's different. Because she was sweet, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was at the very, no, it must have not been Tammy.
Well,
But that's a good thing. Thank you, because I got to route it around. Tammy, what would they have said about her? Because she didn't have an evil spirit in her. So then at the very end, she did. And who? Because it was. She probably told me like once, so it's not like there was a lot of time spent on Tammy, to my knowledge. What did she say about Tammy? I don't know that she. I remember she said right in September. Oh, there's evil spirits starting to work on Tammy now. Tammy's good, but they're not in her yet. They're like working on her. And they're coming around the house, something like that, and then she had to knock at the door one night, and Tammy wakes up to go see who it is, and of course Chad and Lori would say, oh, that was Julie Rose's spirit that came and knocked on the door.
Okay,
That sound
you
familiar?
lost me right there.
I didn't know if this was... I did share this with somebody. I really feel like it's come out somewhere along the journey.
It probably is. But you gotta understand, man, there's so much that's coming out here. Sometimes we have trouble keeping it straight.
I don't blame you. That's why I keep saying, call me. If you have like a brain cramp, Melanie can help me sort me out, because I can at least I got my memory.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
I know, but I was just saying, when you're going through stuff and you're going through all this stuff, you need to keep it collective. Ask me, because I'm going to tell the truth. Nobody's going to tell it like me.
All right. So tell me again about the
God, I had to stop for a minute because it's getting crazy. Now she's going on to overly basically tell us how that she's not lying. Nobody's going to be more honest than me. The fact that she has to keep convincing us that, oh, she's not a manipulator, nobody's going to be more honest than me, is to me a sign that I feel like she is, like she's trying to convince us, because she is lying. But how crazy Julie Rose spirit is knocking on Tammy's door. What did you guys think of that when you heard that? Like, how is it Melanie hearing this and thinking you guys are crazy? Like, what do you mean Julie Rose spirit's knocking on Tammy's door? Why would Julie Rose spirit be knocking on Tammy's door? And after I hear how she's saying that Chad learned this stuff from Julie, and after I listen to this interview with Melanie, it makes me think that maybe Julie Rose had more involvement and knew more than she's letting on. What do you guys think after listening to this? It made me think, man, I didn't know Julie Rose was really that interconnected with this story in a way where, like, Chad's beliefs were like he learned from her, is what she's saying. They learned from Julie. Lori was watching her too. I didn't realize Lori was watching Julie Rowe before the time and learning stuff from her. So I thought that was kind of interesting. All right, I'll shut up. Let me play it.
Knocking on the door.
So something about one night there was this is what Chad would tell Lori, that Tammy woke up to a knock at the door, and then he would say, maybe to Julie, I don't know. I mean, to his wife, I don't know. But he said, she told me that he said it was Julie's spirit knocking at the door. That's what woke her up. So that was one indication. And it seemed like there could have been other things. I can't recall. But she just said, I felt this feeling of like they were kind of like around her house, these evil spirits. That's what it felt like when she was telling me. So you know how you feel things, you picture it, but you don't have the words to describe it. that these evil spirits are now trying to get a hold of her. Oh, and then she says she's starting to question if he's seeing somebody else.
Lori was. Or
No,
Tammy
was. That's what she would
right.
tell. So that's how they knew the evil spirits were in her, is because now she was starting to, and I don't remember what she said, something like, are you seeing another woman? Something maybe like that.
Do you know when that was?
Yeah, that was that time we went, September, that weekend I was up there. She would tell me that while I was in her apartment.
Lori told you that.
Yeah, and that was when she was telling that JJ.
I think we did know that.
Yeah, everything I can remember, I tried my best to, as fresh as I could. Yeah, I did share. I feel like I shared it. It feels super familiar with me sharing that. Anyway, so, but she didn't tell me when she got in her spirit. I think after she died. So I didn't know, and I don't know that she ever said who was. She was trying to describe it, but I don't even remember what she said.
Can I interject really quick?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the castings, because we're kind of getting just sidetracked just a little bit.
Okay.
So back to the castings. You participated in about 10 of them, and then some over the phone, roughly.
Something like that. They were mostly on Charles, if I can remember, if not all of them. There might have been a few that weren't, but it felt like they were, if not all, Charles.
And Lori would start it, and you would go around the room.
She'll always.
You'd go around the room, and each person would say something.
Have something to say.
Describe to me, let's say we're in the casting, what would you say?
I would say, so they would always refer to the evil spirit. So if it was Ned, they'd say.
All by name.
And I can't remember if I said Ned's name or not. I don't know. But anyway, I just say, Jesus Christ is your Savior. Come to Him, and remember that you can always repent and come to Him. So it was my testimony of the repentance and the power of the Savior. That was what I'd say. So I'd say, just like I'd refer to Paul the Apostle, that he went through a hard time and he came to the Lord and he was able to be forgiven. And that you can come to the light side. It was all done with love. To me, I felt the love when I said it. I wasn't doing it in a way that I was angry or upset or any negative. Like, I like Charles, so it wasn't like I was against anybody.
So you would say that?
And then somebody else would, and then they would move on to the next person.
Okay.
And so a person would say, oh gosh.
So what was your gift that brought you into that circle? What was your gift? Because each person in the circle had a gift.
Nobody really had a gift until they stepped. It seems like they had a gift all of a sudden when they stepped into the circle. Does that make sense? Like, there was no gift outside of it except for Sulema. Sulema seemed to be the one that had the gift of moving the earth, because she seemed to the visionary stuff she could see. So she was the only one that I knew of that had that kind of gift.
Do you remember Lori giving anybody assignments? Okay, you be water, you be fire.
Yeah, a little bit. She started to learn it more, but that probably backed off after a while because she stopped. Like I said, she got rid of some people in the group. So then it kind of just branched off to her and Lori would do a lot of it on their own in the temple. And I'd come and see them in the temple later. I was like, hey, what's going on? And she's like, oh, we just were talking about how to, do this and da-da-da-da.
Sulema and Lori?
What?
Who? Lori and who?
Sulema. So they'd be in the temple doing it sometimes. And they would just do it like they'd sit beside each other and just hold hands or something like that. Like, nobody could really tell what they're doing. And they would talk I'd see them talking and then they would just close their eyes and then think that they could do something like leave their bodies, and I've heard people do weird stuff like that. Like, it happens to people. I don't know. I've never had those experiences, but anyway. So somebody would do something about water, and I can't remember the words. They were so different. Sorry, I'm trying. Crystals or whatever, and I'm trying to remember Nicole and Christina. Like, what would they have said?
That's okay. So,
I don't really remember.
So you guys go around the circle. Each person says their part, right?
Yeah.
And that comes back to Lori.
Most likely.
Mm-hmm. And how does Lori close it? Like, how do you guys get done with the casting?
She would invite the spirit to come out of the body, and I think a few times, if I remember now, it's so long since I thought about this. Sulema, they would try to, is the right word, seal it up or something like that? Seal it?
Like sealing a blessing?
Like a sealing, yeah. Like, try to seal it where they could, that light energy that was going into them that would cause that evil spirit go, okay, I'm going to leave now. So they were trying to invite it to leave now. And She just talked to, I think at the end she would just try to seal that up and try to think she had the power to talk it out of leaving the body.
And that's something you believed in at the time?
I kind of believed in it. I didn't 100%. It's hard to 100% believe in anything that's not true. So at the time, I thought, well, I don't know if this is effective or not, but it seems that's the direction she's going because she doesn't know what to do about this evil spirit in the body. I don't know if it's working or not because she's saying one time it's here and then I said, Chad, the body left. So when the first entity first left, Ned, it got really weird after that. Actually, she called Chad. She's like, "Did we get the body? We had a prayer. Did we get the spirit out?" Because he would be the one that deemed it, and he'd say, "Yes, it left." And then, well, where is it? And then, what is his body dead? Because they thought maybe his body would drop dead, which never happened. So she thought that Charles was dead. Okay. Yeah, thank you. It takes a while to remember all this stuff because there's so many details. And I'm just visualizing as much as I can. So I remember then she said that something like Brandon was involved. It was so dumb. And Brandon was helping get rid of the bodies, something. But anyway, we find out. Then he said, so he kept changing things, the story all the time. And then he would say, oh no, that's not really what, because, she obviously found out Charles was alive. Oh, that's not what happened. It was Brandon's father's body that died or something stupid like that. He would always try to put it off, like find an excuse why it didn't work. So when, that first time she said that Charles was going to get in the car accident and die, that January, because I remember it was right around my birthday, and then, because it was right after Christmas, and then I said, well, why didn't he die? And then Charles's excuse, which was always Julie Rose's excuse that I heard, was, oh, because of agency, it didn't happen. These people didn't meet up with the right plan, and it didn't go according to plan, so it just failed it. So Chad, that would always be excuse for why things didn't go. He just would lead her along to one, and so they thought they were always discovering things, and the adversary was getting smarter and smarter, and they were just leading, and it just got stupider and stupider, the story did, and it just got more crazy, and sometimes I'd go, okay, whatever, and I just kind of blow it off.
Well, no, let's back up. So Tylee was deemed dark back in July.
She was deemed dark at some point.
Cast for Tylee?
I do not recall that.
Okay.
But I know at some point she was called dark, and
who called her dark?
Well, probably Chad would tell her, because Chad was the one she would go to. And I remember I said this out loud to you guys, is she used to think she got a lot of revelation, but now that Chad's in her life, she just would relies upon him more. So she kind of didn't think she had the power anymore because he seemed to have more power than her.
Do you know at that point in time if there was any tension between Lori and Tylee?
There was always tension.
Was there?
When was there wasn't tension? I mean, it was from day one that I met her. I walk in the room. I super good with teenagers. Love them. Hi. She's like, if we were each other, I was like, hi, and she didn't even want to look at me, and she was probably thinking one of her friends that she just totally dumps me on. Who knows? But she would never contact me. I did one time try to be affectionate and kind to her, and we were sitting at the table. We're going to California with her friend. And we're sitting at the little that wiener place. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, but that fast food restaurant, the
Wiener Schnitzel?
Well, not that one. The
Schlotzky's?
Yes, I don't even know how to say it. We were there. She said it was one of her favorite places.
I like food.
Yeah. See, she said she was big on food, and now she loved her fast food. If you didn't know that, she did. And so we were sitting there, and I just, just like try to put like Tylee's hair. Women just do that kind of stuff. And I just pulled her hair off, and she was like, you know what I mean? I was like, and I didn't take it personally. I knew her mom was her mom. Like, she had a rough life. I was like, whatever. And I think it upset Lori. That kind of upset her. I was like, you don't need to be upset. But anyway, so she didn't think she was dark at that time. That was another time. That was earlier on.
And I know this stuff, bringing it up, can be kind of embarrassing to think that I actually bought into some of that
Absolutely,
stuff.
It is.
But it's super important that if you did buy into it, you let us know. Because we've recovered text messages and conversations between you and Lori, or you and Zulema, and things like that. So there's some things where it shows that you actually believe that Charles was a zombie.
Well, like I said, to a certain level, I believe it, just like Sulema. But remember me asking her the last time I saw them, I said to him directly, it's like, and this was just to show you where my beliefs were, and Sulema's. I said, I'm not 100%. Now, here we're not influenced by Chad and Lori because they're not in the room. This is us three now, alone, without their influence. And Alex.
And Alex.
So here we're in Sulema's home, and I remember he's sitting right by the door, and she's in the kitchen, and I'm right here. And I go, 100% of the zombie thing, I'm still not 100%, okay? So that's what I said. So he goes, 100%, and then she goes, I'm still getting my answers on that. She goes, I'm still not 100%. So that's what our conversation. Now, to me, if she said that, that means she didn't know that they died, or they were, whatever, they're missing or whatever. I don't think she was privy to that because of her comment there. She didn't seem like she knew what was going on to them.
But this was after that they had moved to Rexburg.
This was like a few weeks before he died, so this was what?
Charles.
No, Alex. This is right before Alex died.
Yeah, so this is after they moved to Rexburg, they came back.
Yeah, this is after they went to Rexburg, and they already were married. They just got married, Sulema and Alex. So when I say, yeah, I went along with the text because I was trying to believe in it, and I was trying to, but there was always that little part of me that was like, you're going to have that. You're going to have that doubt until you ever had doubts about something, but you go along with it for a while because you kind of, and then you're like, So I'm not denying that because I told you I was gullible. So that, it's just that I didn't 100% believe in it. I never 100% believed in anything, but she would so convincing when she come around you, she would just like make you try to believe it more. You know what I mean? It's like when you have something, you ever try to believe in something and you keep talking about it to keep convincing yourself of it? Multi-levels are great at that. You're just trying to talk yourself into it. And so, but the 100% was never there, even though it made it sound like it. Even Lori doubted it. Because she made a few comments, and I remember her seemed like she could have been in the last house she lived in when Charles died in. If he's a Satan, he's a good one. Or maybe she was in Texas too. It wasn't one of those. So I'm just saying, how do you 100% believe in something that's not true? It's very difficult to.
This time that you were with Alex, Sulema, and you, where was that at?
That was at Sulema's house.
And did you have a conversation at that time with Lori and Chad?
They weren't in the room. When was the last time I talked to them? Well, remember I was already coming down.
I thought you said that you talked, or you just got to talk to them or something.
No, I said we weren't talking to them, so we weren't in their conversation. Like we were just talking, the three of us.
Oh, okay.
So I want to make that clear that they weren't under our influence. They weren't trying to influence us. Okay. I was trying to say we three got to talk without them in the room, which really...
Because they left?
No, but they were wherever they were.
Okay.
I don't know where they were.
And it wasn't that you hadn't been on earlier with any phone conversation or anything?
The only phone call that I've shared with everybody, which is the truth, is when I was coming down from Utah. Remember, it was the Thanksgiving time. And remember I said I did the three-way call, and I called them to say, hey, let's say a prayer. I'm worried about them. Sulema got on the phone call. She didn't really seem like she understood what was going on. Because I asked Laura, I'm like, does she know what's going on? And she's like, oh, yeah, she lied. Anyway, so when I was listening to Sulema, I was like, I don't think she understands what's going on. I got that feeling. She's like, what is this about?
I just want to make sure that...
So that was the last conversation I had with her, was that conversation on the phone when I prayed, when I had a prayer I was worried about, they said the kids were being kidnapped. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, I was in the car with David, so he heard it because we had it on the speaker thing. Right. And so anyway, so that was that conversation. And then it got busy for me. I was doing Thanksgiving. And then I went over to their house. And anyway, it was the last time I saw him. And he said, I 100% believe in it, Melanie.
Alex.
And so this is the thing, is I think because he 100% believed in it, he had to, because at this point he had probably killed the kids, is my guess. He probably did it. I don't know. I'm guessing. Maybe you guys are guessing too. But he 100% believed it. And she didn't 100% believe it. And then when I called her, when I realized, oh, holy cow, I called her. I tried to talk to her. She was not there yet.
What do you mean by that? She just...
I said to her, Sulema, and I don't remember the full conversation because I was on fire in my mind, like, holy cow, right? I am freaking out. But what I do remember is I said, there's something seriously wrong here. I said, the gut of my stomach says something seriously wrong here. And she goes, that's just dark. I said, no, there's a difference between gut and dark. this is cut. And I said, do you have a testimony of Chad and Lori? Do you have a testimony of that? What is your witness? And she goes, well, I have one of Chad. When he gave me a blessing, shortly after meeting him, I had more visions after that. And she goes, I'll get my witness about Lori. And I said, well, I don't know what I described, but I just described it and I didn't believe who they were. And I said, I'm going to be going to the police. And I remember it seemed like I talked to her maybe twice, and probably the last. So I said, I'm going to the police. And I said, is Alex on? Can Alex hear me? And she goes, it's on speaker. I said, take it off speaker. Now here's the murderers down the street. Remember, they lived close to me. Remember, Sulema lived around the corner from me. And I'm thinking, I just got myself in a situation. He could come after me, right? Mm-hmm. But I had to do what I had to do. She was my friend. I wanted to warn her. And I just said, hey, so anyway, the police, I know, circled her house, circled my house, making sure I was safe and making sure he probably didn't get in trouble, whatever. And so she texted me, didn't call me, texted me next day, I got my witness. Which means to me, Lori's in. Lori's good. That's what it meant to me.
Did she tell you how she got her witness?
Nope, that's one-liner. And I said, I'm not talking to her anymore. Cut her off. I just knew that I couldn't talk to her anymore.
You remember what day that was? Do you still have that?
It's on my phone. Yep. Thank goodness for some of the texts that got saved, right? And then she told me she never wanted to have anything to do with me again.
At that same time?
No. It would be after he died, after Alex died. So she was still under the influence of Lori at that time in her life. So, okay.
Just gonna step out here.
Oh, December 6th. I received my witness today.
On December 6th?
Yep.
What is this?
So I got $2,000 picked up from Melanie's piano, and she was out of town, so she said, can you collect the money for me? So I had this $2,000 cash, and she said, Mel asked us to get it for her, or can we pick it up? What's easier for you? I said, I'm sorry, but I'm not home, and I'm not sure when I will be. I just text her as well. Maybe I can get it to her through PayPal. Just PayPal it to me. I can't right now because I don't have enough money in my account. If you'll anyway, she goes, oh, let me know, thanks. Are you up for a confab? The bishop told me what happened. I was so surprised, so sad. This was after he died, so this was, I guess it was 2 days later, right? I'm so sorry, words cannot express how I feel. I am extremely only surprised at your hypocrisy because of what you did. I didn't have to not only deal with my precious husband dying in my arms, but then when police were ransacking my house and traumatizing my entire family. You are not my friend. You are not to speak to me or anyone in my family ever again. I want you to pay the $2,000 you owe as soon as possible. Put it onto the map and I'll forget that I exist. So you can understand why I haven't talked to her.
So
Then I just told her.
is she just mad because you made the phone call to us? Is that why she's mad? And she thinks that God's pointed towards Alex's direction?
I guess. She knew I was going to the police.
That day was December 16th.
Yeah. So then I put the money under the mat and that was it. I didn't want to do PayPal because I hate using technology for that. So I made sure she wasn't around.
And you haven't talked to her since?
Have not talked to her, nor have I seen her. Wait, have I seen her? Yeah, I think I saw her a few times at the passing of the temple and she wouldn't talk to me. So, and then the temple got closed shortly after, so anyway, I haven't seen her since. Yeah, so sad. One of my friends, Kelly, she saw her at the temple after it happened and she was like, oh, Kelly, my husband died. Can you see him? He's here with me. And she's like, I don't see anything. I don't see spirits. So then she's going on about how he was her husband. I mean, she was deceived so much. So sad. It was very sad.
Mm-hmm.
She did not know how evil he was. I mean, all that I've learned about him didn't sound like he had a good past, you know?
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I believe her energy work is the one that got her deceived. Because she could communicate through the veil. I had no gift, so, you know what I mean? It got her sucked into it. As far as her not letting that go and believing in it and stuff.
I'm curious, your opinion, do you really think she can see through the veil?
I don't know if people make stuff up or not, honestly, Ron. I don't know. I don't know if people imagine things. I really don't know. I do believe people can see things. I believe it's possible. But my feeling about them is I think they can conjure up ideas and thoughts. Like, I would sit with Lori in the temple, and we just hold hands because we just loved each other. And she said, oh, Heavenly Father and Mother came to me right here, Melanie. And they were talking to me. And I was like, I didn't think she was lying in the temple. I never thought she was making this stuff up. I was like, but on the eternal thing, I think that God wanted me to be a witness for all this. So, and that's a whole different discussion. But somebody needed to be a witness to all this craziness that would tell the truth. So there was a part of me that's very innocent because I don't think you're lying to me. I wouldn't make a very good police officer because I would think everybody was telling the truth that came in to see you. And then I'd learned more about my life, and I'm looking back at my former spouse, I'm going, oh, things I couldn't see before. And it's called deception or manipulation. I wasn't even aware of that. Like, people do that. I didn't catch it because I don't know how to do it. I don't understand it. But when you experience it, it's painful.
I'm going to get a little personal with you here and ask some personal questions, but I'm curious with the relationship with your previous husband. Was that relationship with your previous husband kind of in turmoil before Chad and Lori showed up on scene?
Oh, absolutely. We had challenges for the whole marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a hard marriage.
Did Chad?
Did they encourage me?
Yeah.
Actually, they discouraged me.
Did they really?
Well, they were saying, oh, I see you, this is what he would say at first, I see you and your family going to a mountain in camps, and I see your husband and your family with you. But he gets upset and he leaves the camp, and then he shortly dies after that. So then, that was one thing he said. And then, at one point they said, he's not dark, but he has just dark spirits around him. Because I remember out of the blue, he's like, oh, I checked your husband, and he has attachments to him, so I just took the attachments off him. I didn't ask him to do that, nor did I even think that he had them, do you know what I mean? So that was right in the beginning. And so then I said, and then anyway, I had a hard day one day with Brendan, and I told him months, like right about the time I met Lori, I remember standing with my husband, and I said to him, if you don't stop talking to me this way, I can't do it anymore. You're going to have to make some changes. I mentally, I can't talk. I can't handle the way you talk to me anymore. I can't do it. And I remember he has this scratching thing. He just started scratching his arm with his eczema. And I was, and then we had a discussion once, and I said, you see how you're talking to me? I said, that's the meaning. Do you understand that? He goes, that is? And I go, yeah, it is. I'm just trying to figure out, you know, he always had his reasons. And then, anyway, so I went out for a walk one day, and I just said, do I have to stay in this marriage, Heavenly Father? I can't do this anymore. It hurts my mind at this point. And I felt this peace come over me, and I was like, huh, are you kidding me? So anyway, I tell Brendan, I fasted the whole day. I was like, I feel peace and I feel happy. I am so done. I was in so much pain. But that's the reason why I came to know the Lord, is because of how hard that relationship was. And I spent a lot of time repenting on just any kind of unkindness that I showed. I mean, I spent a lifetime doing that. So anyway, I said to her, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm divorcing Brendan or something like that. And she's like, I can't remember what she said, but I remember one time going to the temple, I said, this is just not going well. And she goes, no, I think you should go back to him. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of I'm kind of sensing that too. Everything's just hard, you know, like he's getting upset and the kids are da. So she was actually, believe it or not, she encouraged me to go back with him. And then I got to a point where I was like, I got to do what I need to do. And actually, this is interesting. I told Brendan the whole story after I talked to all of you guys before I hit the media. I wanted him to know face to face. I said, I want to tell you what happened, because he's the father of my children. He needs to know these things. And I told him about Chad and Lori and the whole thing, and he was just like, oh my gosh, you know, he was shocked. He goes, well, probably a good thing you divorced me, because they probably would have tried to come after me like they came after Brandon. And I said, who knows? And I thought, wow, that was the statement of the year.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I do so with a little bit of reserve because I don't want to sound too... It's going to be a weird question.
Okay.
But it is what it is.
You know, you can...
Do you ever feel like that with Chad, there was ever a point in time that Chad was wanting to bring you into any type of relationship?
I never felt that from him. He did contact me, but I never felt that, you know, the thing that him and Lori did. I never felt that kind of a romantic, no. But one time he contacted me, and I'm sure I shared this briefly, 6 months before I met Lori. He texted me on Messenger and says, hey, Melanie, I just finished my last book, and I'm going to be in Arizona. Do you think you can help me with a get-together? I said, sure, I'd love to. And then I contacted Jason Mao, and I said, hey, well, Chad's coming to town. Why don't you guys both do a duo together? And so they both were like, he's like, sure, that's fine. And so then I got the word out, like, hey, they're both coming to town. So anyway, when I picked him up, I'm so glad I did this. I picked him up from the airport. I had somebody in the car with me. Whew, glad, you know, because who knows? I don't think anything, he would have said anything about these multiple lies. He hadn't told me about that, so I didn't know anything about it. But I had... her name is Janelle Littlebear. She was with me, and her daughter was with me. So anyway, we went to the place that he was going to speak, and then we had a lot of craziness going on with the air conditioning. But anyway, and then I said to him after, you know, it was all over, I said, do you mind giving me a priesthood blessing? I could really use one right now, you know. And I looked up to him at the time. I thought he was this great visionary, and which I don't even think he's a visionary by the record now. Now, maybe I said it earlier on, but now that the more I learn and ponder, I'm like, I think he made it all up. Anyway, so he gave me a little, it was just a nice little blessing. Anyway, but he never, I didn't feel like he was trying to come on to me, or maybe he used me just to get his book sold there. But when he met Lori, it was a totally different energy than when I met him. It was, so that's, just letting you know, of course, I never had any type of interest in him at all. Because you can tell why. So he was not somebody I'd be attracted to, you know what I'm saying? But plus I was married too.
Okay.
Sorry, it's loud.
Let's talk a little bit about the night that you were at the apartment in Rexburg, the night that we believe that JJ came up missing.
Yeah.
If I recall right, you guys were doing a cast, and Alex had already taken a podcast.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
and Alex had taken JJ, gone to his place, and a little later we know that then he brought JJ back. Yeah. And because I don't have any paperwork right in front of me, he went upstairs with JJ. Is that correct? Is that what I remember?
Do you remember, you mean like when we were doing the podcast and then he came in the door with him sleeping?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of went that way.
So he goes upstairs, and do you know where he went when he went upstairs?
Just kind of, well, yeah, because he went into Lori's room because he wasn't in David's or I's room, my room. Those rooms are empty, so he had to have been in there.
And then you didn't see him again that night?
Who? JJ?
Alex.
He left, no.
And Jay left, JJ still up there.
Yeah, and I never saw JJ either.
Right, but Alex left, you watched him leave.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we heard the door open and close, and we probably said it, like, good night or something, you know. I mean, maybe. We're podcasting. Who knows?
Do you recall seeing him walk out with JJ?
Not walk out. No, okay. Just walk in.
Okay.
Just walk in.
That's what
and when he left the first time, we didn't see him take him. We just know he had him because she said that he had taken him.
Right.
I don't recall that. I just remember he wasn't there.
But the time he left, so he brings JJ in, and then he leaves again. He did not take JJ out of the room, or out of the apartment. Okay. So you get done with your podcast, everybody goes their separate way, and everybody goes to their bedrooms. And David, I recall David having his dream. He woke up.
Yeah, funky.
Did he come and get you and tell you?
No, I was actually laying beside him when it happened.
In which room?
In JJ's official room.
Okay. So he woke up and you were at the side of him?
Yeah.
And tell me about what happened from there.
His heart was beating. He was distressed. He said, I just had this really bad dream. And then he kind of sat up and he was just, and he just was, I said, well, tell me about it. And he's like, it was just so dark. He's like, I saw an earthquake and I saw people hurting and I wanted to help them and I couldn't, and something like that. That's what it feels like, remember. It was like his heart was hurting. Like his whole body was under distress. When he has dreams, they're like lifetime dreams. You know, some people dream vividly. I do not dream like that. He has incredible dreams where he feels everything in his dream. So it affects him at a totally different level.
Okay.
So that's what happened. So then I think, oh my gosh, maybe some evil spirit, because, you know, they were always talking about it. So I text Lori and I text Chad. I'm like, I don't remember what I said. Probably, are you awake, or something's wrong, Chad. David, I don't remember what I said. I just remember trying to get to them. So I said, I'm going to go get Lori, see if she can help out. The door was locked. And so I was like, I don't know. She's not, I don't know if I should try to wake her up, or I just decided just to come back and see David after that.
So you tried the door handle. It was locked.
It was locked.
Did you knock on it?
Maybe. I probably did, but there was no answer. I don't remember if I probably did, but and I did actually. I think I tried calling her too and texting her, and I think Chad.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to pause it. I'm so. Oh my god! I thought I paused because when I have my headphones on, I was listening on my phone so I don't miss the interview. No, I'm on here, but my grandma came in and I accidentally paused it. I'm sorry, guys. No, yeah. Hold on. Okay. Am I on mute? No. Okay. Yeah. Because the game didn't start till 7.
What do you mean they're?
No, but it's 20 minutes away. Those games last a couple hours. She might not be home for another half hour. Yeah, because they last a couple hours. But I'll call if it goes past a half hour. But if she's driving, I don't want to I always get nervous if I call and then I don't know. But all right. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. My grandma came up. She's worried about my mom, but my mom went to a game and she probably isn't going to be home for another half hour. So anyway, okay, actually, I am glad I paused it though, because I wanted I like watching it live with you, but I seriously didn't mean to though. I was thinking I paused. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, let's do this. Or do you think I should just call my mom? She wants me to call my mom and see if she's okay. But I always worry, if I call, I'm a worrier. I know I get it from my mom. But if she's driving and I call and then she has to go reach for her phone, it always makes me nervous. I don't want to cause something, So I'm always weird. If she could be driving now, maybe I shouldn't call. What do you guys think? Call? Yeah, I'm thinking the game started at 7. It's 20 minutes away. I think those games at least last an hour and a half to 2 hours. You think I should? Yeah. It's my nephew's game. It's like a football game. So, but my grandma's getting all worried, and because it's dark, and usually my mom's not, she's not out when it's dark, but it was already getting dark when my mom left because it was a night game, I don't know. I know, I feel like she's fine. I'm not worried right at this point because I feel like that games could last almost 2 hours, but she's worried. So I'm feeling she's going to keep coming back up, and because she's not going to remember that she even asked me probably. Hold on, let me see. I did hear something. Wonder if she. Well, hold on, guys, but I don't want to make you stay. Let me just call her real quick. Shoot, I wish I had Bella or somebody up here to entertain you. Hold on, let me just. Oh, she's home. She just texted. She can't get in the garage door. The garage door is locked. That was my mom. How weird. We're talking about it. I'll be back. I got to go let her in. All right. Hey, Grandma. She texted. She's home. She can't get in the garage door. Hold on. She's home right now. She can't get in the garage door. It's not opening. She's home. I'm going to finish up the live. Yeah, she came up and she was worried. I was like, should I call her? I don't know. Yeah, okay. All right, guys, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, I'm not on. Okay, sorry, guys. She's home. My grandma locked the garage door, so my grandma basically locked both of the things on the garage, so my mom couldn't get in. But I feel better now that she's home. Okay, and so does she. All right. Okay, so let's well, we needed a break. This is getting crazy. So I wanted to comment earlier. Hold on. I'm trying to think what I wanted to say about when she was talking about Zulema, when Melanie was talking about Zulema. I wanted to comment, but I was downstairs at the time. Wait, what was it? It was something about, is there fireworks? That didn't make sense because she said, I don't know, I forget now, but there was something I wanted to say. Now I totally forget. I was waiting until I stopped it. I was like, I'm not going to stop it because I was downstairs, but I'll wait till I stop it. I'll have to remember, but I forget. So what do you guys think so far? So we're at the point where, okay, so David has a bad dream, right? And then she tries to open the door's locked. Oh, yeah. Batman, thanks for the super chat. I put it up. I forgot to say thank you. Come on. She doesn't remember that if she saw Alex leave the second time or if JJ was with her. She doesn't remember. And did you see the cop? Did you see his reaction when he's just you could tell he's like, wait a minute, what do you mean? He didn't say that, but his body language and how he, what he was doing, it reminded me he was like, wait a minute, how don't you know if you saw Alex? Because I think in the preliminary hearing, didn't she say that she saw Alex leave without JJ? Maybe that's why the cop kind of had that reaction too, because it's and now you're saying that you didn't actually see him leave. You might have just heard the door open. You notice how she said that. I might have just heard him the door open and close. Well, did you see him or didn't you? Come on. And you notice how she keeps biting her lip when they started talking about this. She's very a whole different mood where she bites her lip a lot to talking about this subject. And I don't know. I just feel like she's more nervous talking about this because she's very careful. Shoot, what should I say? Just be careful what I say here because JJ died that night or early that morning. That's when it all happened, and you were there that night. So anyway, yeah, that's true, Kaz. But so I don't know. I don't know if she has immunity. I don't know, but I just know she is uncomfortable. So let's see. We have how much longer? Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, this is I feel like it's a very interesting interview. As much as I feel like it is though a lot different than the one with Nate Eaton. I feel like she's a lot more like fidgety and a lot more something. She just seems a lot more comfortable, besides this uncomfortable moment talking about JJ, but she's a lot more freer and comfortable kind of talking. Like with Nate, I feel like it was more like where she was just more like, I don't know, it just seemed that she was different. And then of course the preliminary hearing, she was different. I mean, that was in court, so you can't blame it. People do act, it makes you nervous. But yeah, okay, so she can't slow it down. Oh wait, what's going on? You want me to slow down chat, or what are you trying to slow down, Dot? Is a nice word to describe it. Okay, so I forgot about Jason Mao. That's one I haven't uploaded yet. So I still have Tylee and Jason Mao to upload. I forgot. But we could still do it. Okay, so let's finish this and then we'll chat a little bit after this. You guys ready? Sorry for the little intermission there. I have a question. How long did I have this pause when I was talking to my grandma? I hope I didn't make you guys wait like forever. I don't know. I thought it was still playing until then I came back on and I was like, why isn't this playing? Oh my God, I paused it. All right, I'm going to go. Moments of this is like a video of the last moments of the space shuttle, Robert. All right, I'm going to press play now.
I tried calling him. I thought maybe he could help out. Neither one of them responded to me, as you probably could tell in the text. You probably saw that. Nobody responded to me. So I just went back to bed. And then we woke up the next morning.
Who did she say she tried to call? I just missed that. I forget who she said. I'm going to rewind it just a tad bit.
In the text, you probably saw that. Nobody responded.
I didn't do it long enough. Hold on.
And I saw people hurting, and I wanted to help them, and I couldn't, and something like that. That's what it feels like. Remember, it was like his heart was hurting. Like his whole body was under distress. When he has dreams, they're like lifetime dreams. You know, some people dream vividly. I do not dream like that. He has incredible dreams where he feels everything in his dream. So it affects him at a totally different level.
Okay.
So that's what happened. So then I think, oh my gosh, maybe some evil spirit, because they were always talking about it. So I text Lori and I text Chad. I'm like, I don't remember what I said. Probably, are you awake, or something's wrong with Chad. David, I don't remember what I said. I just remember trying to get to them. So I said, I'm going to go get Lori, see if she can help out. The door was locked. And so I was like, I don't know. She's not. I don't know if I should try to wake her up, or I just decided just to come back and see David after that.
So you tried the door handle. It was locked.
It was locked.
Did you knock on it?
Maybe. I probably did, but there was no answer. I don't remember if I probably did, but and I did actually. I think I tried calling her too and texting her, and I think Chad. I think I tried calling him. I thought maybe he could help out. Neither one of them responded to me, as you probably could tell in the text. You probably saw that. Nobody responded to me. So I just went back to bed. And then we woke up the next morning and she was happy chappy.
How was David?
He was better. He felt better. He's like, that was a bad dream. And then we would tell them like, hey, he had a bad dream last night. And she's like, oh, that was Julie Rowe. He attacked her. Once again, throw Julie into it. From a distance.
Chad said Julie Rowe attacked David?
Well, Lori probably said it, but she always went through him. So when I say it's kind of they're both. Who knows? They both. And then I don't even know what I believe anymore. What she says that he says, because she's such a liar now. At this point, I'm like, I don't know anymore who said what. But between the two of them, they came up with it. They always throw her into the bus, And it's because because right before that earlier that day, we went to that lot where that land was going to be for sale.
Good point. Wait a minute. I didn't catch that, Nay folk. Can we rewind that again? She is making it seem like Chad was there, but during the preliminary hearing, Chad was not there that day. Do you guys remember that? They said, her and David said Chad was not there that night. He didn't stay the night, right? Or wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm thinking of something else. Chad was there because, or was he? No, he wasn't. No, wait, remind me, guys. Didn't they say he wasn't there? Now I'm remembering two different things here, but I'm thinking of David and her because they were supposed to, wasn't it her and David that they said we're supposed to sleep in separate rooms or something? I'm going to rewind it, but can you guys just remind me in the preliminary hearing, did they say Chad was there or not? They said he wasn't there that night, right? Or am I remembering that wrong? That's all. Okay, let's rewind it. He was there earlier, but they said he didn't stay the night, right? Okay, let me rewind it and see exactly what she says. Because it sounds like she said her and Chad, like the way she's talking about that they're both in that bedroom, right? All right, let's see. How far should I rewind it? I'll do it. Okay.
Answer. I don't remember if I probably did, but and I think I tried calling her too and texting her, and I think Chad. I think I tried calling him. I thought maybe he could help out. Neither one of them responded to me, as you probably could tell in the text. You probably saw that. Nobody responded to me, so I just went back to bed. And then we woke up the next morning, and she was happy, chappy.
How was David?
He was better. He felt better. He's like, that was a bad dream. Then we would tell them like, hey, he had a bad dream last night. And she's like, oh, that was Julie Rowe. He attacked her. Once again, throw Julie into it from a distance.
Chad said Julie Rowe attacked David?
Well, Lori probably said it, but you know, she always went through him. So when I say it's kind of they're both. They who knows? They both. And then I don't even know what I believe.
Oh, I guess Chad. It doesn't seem like she's saying Chad was there because she's saying she just tried to text Chad too because maybe he could help. So that's not really, she's not really saying he was there that night. So never mind. Okay. All right, I'm going to continue.
Believe anymore what she says that he says because she's such a liar now. At this point, I'm like, I don't know anymore who said what. But between the two of them, they came up with it. Oh, they always throw her into the bus, you know. And it's because because right before that earlier that day, we went to that lot where, you know, that land was going to be for sale. And so we were talking to a friend of Julie Rose. His name was Keith Levitt. And Keith Levitt was there with his wife, Suzanne. And then the realtor was there. And so, and Alex was there. But Lori wasn't there. David thought she was there. I said, no, she went home after that. He goes, I forgot that. Anyway, and so anyway, because we saw her, we thought, oh, she's going to tell Julie Rowe.
Oh, Nate, but you could take that a couple ways because she says that she texted Lori and then she texted Chad because maybe he could help. That's what she said. So that doesn't necessarily mean that she's saying they're both in that room, but she could also be saying that she texted him. He could be at his house and maybe he could help with the dream too. So I don't know. I mean, they could be lying and Chad could have stayed there and they're keeping it. But I feel like what she said is not enough to say that that's what she's saying, in my opinion. But because I don't know, that's just my opinion. I'll see what you guys think. I mean, you guys could think something else. I don't really know because maybe, who knows? I wouldn't put it past if he really was there and they all lied about it. I mean, but she didn't say enough to make it seem like that they could say that she said that, in my opinion. She's trying to tell him about a dream David had. I think the detectives start digging deep. Yeah. This is cracking me up. I didn't realize that Julie Rowe was this important in their lives. that like during this time that they're like, she's attacking. I don't know. It's kind of comical the way that they're just blame Julie Rowe for everything. Wonder what she, listening to these interviews, what the heck is she gonna respond? Because, you know, she has a YouTube channel. Wonder if she's gonna respond to some of this. All right.
I mean, Keith is going to tell Julie Rowe that we were there because he saw us, because they're really tight. Keith and Julie are super tight. So that's why they threw that, you know, Julie Rowe attacked him that night because, you know, da-da-da-da.
Do you remember by chance what Lori was wearing in the morning when you guys got up?
She was typical wearing spandex pants and spandex shirt. I don't recall, but that's usually what she had on.
Was it the same clothes that she had on the night before?
Oh gosh, I do not remember.
I know that's kind of a tough one.
I don't remember details to stuff like that. It's not one of those things I pull, unless it stands out for a reason. I wish I could tell you. That'd be good to know, but I don't know. She usually had new clothes on every day, if I can remember. It seemed like she got fresh clothes on every day. She was kind of into her clothes, so.
All right.
That night on the 22nd,
yeah.
Try to remember as best you can, okay? So, it's a Sunday,
Yeah.
right? Do you guys go to dinner, or do you guys make dinner on Sunday night?
Well, we would make it because we don't go to eat on dinner, so we would have made it at home.
So everybody's at home.
Mm-hmm.
Does Lori leave anywhere with JJ?
I don't have any memory of her leaving.
So you sent a text, correction, Lori sent a text to you around 8:30 that evening saying that something to the effect of, hey, I'll be there shortly, JJ woke up, she's getting him back to bed.
Oh.
Do you know where she was at or where you were at when she sent that text?
Gosh. Man, that doesn't even sound familiar. Maybe at Alex.
Wait, I gotta rewind that. Was this the morning that he died, or was this the morning of the night he died? What date? We gotta rewind that. Because that's important. If it's actually the morning that they took him to Chad's, or was this the morning of that Sunday? Do you guys know what I'm saying? Can I rewind it a little bit? I missed the date he said.
I don't have any memory of her leaving.
So you sent a text, correction, Lori sent a text to you around 8:30 that evening saying that something to the effect of, hey, I'll be there shortly, JJ woke up, she's getting him back to bed.
Oh.
Do you know where she was at or where you were at when she sent that text?
Gosh. Man, that doesn't even sound familiar.
Did you see how red her face is getting? Something. So she is keeping something. So I'm sorry, it wasn't in the morning. It was that night at 8:30 or 8 something. But do you see how her face kind of got like all red? Wow, this is a touchy subject for her.
Maybe at Alex's house. I mean, that's the only place that she could be.
Do you have that conversation with her on your phone right now?
No, I think I deleted everything. I was freaked out when it happened. Sorry. I wish I would have kept it on.
Sorry.
So, and I can get that.
So say it again. So who's speaking? Say it again.
So Lori.
She texts me and says.
And says something to the effect of, I'll be there shortly.
I'll be there shortly.
JJ woke up and I'm trying to get him back to sleep.
And that was at night.
It was about 8:30 at night.
Well, okay, because we didn't do the podcast yet.
Okay.
We started the podcast like late because I remember thinking, man, I can't stay up this late. I'm an early bird. Like, come on. We started late, and she's an early bird too. So it must have been, my guess is that it must have been at Alex's house getting him to sleep over there. I'm guessing. So I'm just going to make some guesses. That's that. Because she would never have gone to Chad's house because Tammy was there, right? So where else in the world would she go? I have no idea.
And that's why I'm asking if you remember her, if you remember being alone in her apartment with her not there? Because if she's at Alex's, you're alone in her apartment.
I could have been upstairs or something. Maybe I was talking to David, who knows?
So, and that's why I'm asking if you remember her leaving and JJ not being there around that time.
Probably, because that's when he was no longer there when we did the podcast. And so somehow, I think I was upstairs. That's what I feel. I just don't remember that detail because I had any reason not to remember that, you know. I didn't know anything was going on, so I didn't have a way of associating it with anything. I just knew I was going to do a podcast, and that was it. And I didn't prepare for it because I never prepared for the podcast. I just, you know. So.
And that night when David was having his dream and you send the text to Chad, And understand, I'm not casting any judgment here,
Yeah, that's okay.
but were you and David sleeping in the same room? Or
That
did you hear?
no, that night we were. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so and which room, if you're walking down the hall, which room were you in, the right or the left?
Well, it depends on which way you're walking down the hall. So if you're walking away from Lori's door.
Away from Laura's door, towards the room.
Towards the room. So David's, well, he was assigned that room. And then the first night, David wasn't there for a few nights, so I was in Tylee's room. So that was the room that I stayed in. And then he stayed, so yeah, left room, and it had the mattress on the floor.
Okay, so that night you guys were in the left bedroom?
Yes. Yeah.
And the nights prior to that, you were in the right bedroom?
Yeah, I was a couple, I don't know how many nights. I know at least I was like 1 or 2 nights in Tylee's room. I know that. I just gotta remember when he came there. Was it Friday or Saturday night he got there? Well, anyway.
It'd been the first night that he got there.
Which night was that? Do you remember?
I don't, but you guys shared the same room the first night he showed up at the apartment.
Probably.
Because he was...
I was there like a day or 2 before he was.
Right.
Because didn't I get on a Wednesday? I think a Wednesday and Thursday. So I would have been in the room Wednesday and Thursday in Tylee's room.
Okay.
And then I think he was there 2 nights. I think. So I think I was there for a total of 4 days. And then we left on the Monday. Saturday, Sunday. I thought it was 5 days. Anyway, sorry, they blur. So anyway, I don't remember other than like something, I don't know what I said on the text. Probably something like, something's wrong with David. He had a dream, something. I don't know what I said, but something to the fact that something's wrong with him. I just thought, man, maybe somebody, evil spirit. That's all I could think of. That's all I could think of. Because I was like, why is he traumatized in this dream? That's pretty intense. Anyway, it was bad.
And so after you went and knocked on Lori's door,
I don't know if I know I did this.
tried the handle.
My guess is I probably knocked, but I just decided to come back. I was like, well, she's probably sleeping, so I'll just leave her alone.
And then you got...
I hate waking people up. It's not my favorite, so.
So what was your intent in going in there?
To see if she could come and help with a blessing. Like if she had some, it's like, hey, David's wrong, can you, do a blessing? Help with that, because that's what she was into. So that was my intent. Because I thought maybe she would know what was going on, because she seemed to have all these, experiences with the other side of the veil and Jesus all the time. Like I thought, well, man, maybe they can help out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, we're asking these questions because, it may be something that the defense wants to hit on.
Sure.
I mean, you never know what
Right.
they're going to want to talk
Well,
about.
and I could see that angle. Just like, well, why were you contacting them in the middle of the night? Well, he had this weird experience. I don't know what else to say.
And so when we talk about this stuff, it's for that purpose, right?
Yeah.
So that morning when David talked to Lori, did he express any concerns to you about JJ's whereabouts?
Did he express any concerns
David.
to me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall him expressing concerns.
On the drive home, did you guys talk or text Lori or Chad?
No, I mean, what would we have said about JJ? Just, I know that he questioned her, like, where is JJ? Let me see if he has a zombie in him. And he didn't believe it. I mean, I don't remember.
Was he saying that kind of mock? Or was he really...
No, I think he was genuine.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not a mocker. He's pretty genuine about these kind of things. I just don't remember that full conversation.
And that's why I asked, because if he was concerned, right?
Oh,
JJ has
right, like he
zombie
was,
in him,
yeah.
It would be, I would think that maybe you guys would maybe discuss that, if you could remember discussion on the way home, because it was kind of a long drive, right? And then during that drive, there was 3 or 4 phone calls that you made to Lori.
Okay.
During that drive, and do you remember what that conversation was?
jogging my memory. Holy cow.
I know it's a lot to remember.
Well, you could have asked this like a long time ago. That would have helped. Just,
Well,
and I don't even know if I would have remembered because it wasn't significant enough for me to remember. There's certain things I remember and some things I'm like, don't remember that. It's possible we could have talked about it. I mean, it's highly possible. Do I remember? I don't remember the words.
How do you remember how she was, her tone, her demeanor on the phone with you? Was she?
I don't even remember the conversation. That's the hard part. I don't even remember talking to her.
Would you guys, is it normal for you to call her 3 or 4 times in a day?
That's not unusual. That's not unusual. There were periods of time where she talked to me more, and then she'd move, and she'd be maybe focused on Melanie. So if she was focused on somebody else, she wouldn't. But I was with David, so, didn't have as much when I was with David. So it went through, gaps here and there where I did and didn't. In the beginning, yeah. And then when she moved and stuff, it started getting a lot less. I don't remember the conversation. I'm sorry. I'm sure she probably talked about those things. That's all that seemed to be on her mind all the time.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if they bring them up, they're gonna, wherever they ask me in court, happy to talk about it, but I don't remember them.
Prior to those podcasts, had Chet been over there?
Yeah.
You know what time he left? We probably talked about it, but I'm just...
So I think we figured out, if all my remembering, it seemed like he was there on a Sunday, right? And then he was there even before Chet. Yes, he was there when I got there that day or the next day, because I remember they were doing their little music thing they had going on, so he was there then. And then we walked around the track, Wednesday or Thursday, I don't remember. And he was there, I'm thinking it was Sunday. I mean, I know, okay, yes, it was, because David and him saw each other, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, so he definitely was there on a Sunday, or we interacted with him on a Sunday. Was he at the house on Sunday? Anyway, he was at one point, I remember he was in the kitchen at one point, and I remember David was there, so I just remember they were both in the house at the same time. Do I remember exactly when it was? No. But he always seemed to like to go home because of his wife, so he didn't want to upset her. I had that feeling, something like that. So he probably didn't stay too late. And he was not there when we did the podcast. He was gone already. I bet you got a lot more information because of the text, so you guys know a little bit more about their whereabouts. They were always texting each other. But who knows? You know more than me.
So, 23rd.
I know you're trying to help.
So the night of the
way
22nd.
To pin them on a...
Yeah.
I know. I wish I could just remember more.
So the 22nd would have been a Sunday.
22nd Sunday, yeah.
Okay, and that's the night of the podcast. And that's the night that David got there?
No, he got there, I think the day before.
Or was it on a Saturday? Okay,
It
so...
was either Friday night or Saturday night.
But do you recall Chad being at the house on the 22nd? That Sunday. I know it's a toughie.
I'm going to say there's a high chance he was. Right this moment, I have to put pieces together to figure it out. The days blend to me. When you're there 5 days and you're trying to figure out which day, that's hard for me.
The morning of the 23rd, when Lori's up and about in the kitchen, when you guys are getting ready to go, does she say anything about Chad?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see him there. I don't remember seeing him there. I don't remember.
Did she talk to him that morning or anything? Okay.
David remembers this part the best because he had a conversation with her, and he remembered it because we were leaving, and you talked about now. I remember that whole conversation to whatever I was listening. I know he was over here, and I felt like I was in the living room for some reason, but I couldn't. I was like, oh, was it that day or that? I was kind of trying to think, was that Saturday or was it Sunday or what day did she say that? And so he did remember that it was that day, which I'm grateful that he remembered it was that day.
Sure.
But yeah, I remember her telling me about how, and I remember she was doing my hair. I think it was that morning. Yeah, it was Sunday. So it really helps if I can start remembering things associated with it.
With Sunday?
Yeah, she did my hair. She cut my hair in the bathroom downstairs. and she even colored it. She couldn't do upstairs, but it was enough room, so went downstairs. So we were in her bedroom.
She
we were in
cut your hair
bedroom.
downstairs
Yeah, I think.
or upstairs?
No, downstairs. And then it seemed like we started off in her bedroom doing my hair. And then she's like, let's just go downstairs. It's easier down there. I don't know why. I can't remember the reason. She just thought it was easy. Now, she had all her stuff up there. So
Upstairs?
Yeah, I mean, that was all her. Well, because there was hardly anything downstairs in that bathroom. There wasn't a lot down there. It was pretty empty. I remember. There was probably a few things in there, but not much. So it was small. So anyway, I was sitting there, and I remember looking in the mirror, and I remember David was back there in the kitchen. I don't know. I mean, he was somewhere in the house, obviously. And then I remember her doing my hair here. And or cutting it, and David didn't like my hair short, so anyway, it's a long story, but anyway, she's just trying to trim it up. I remember it was like off a little bit, and there was pizza boxes or something, and JJ was trying to cut them something. I'm trying to remember what she would have made for breakfast, and she wasn't a cooker. She wasn't much of a cooker, but we had something.
Melanie, let me ask you this. With multiple probations,
Yeah.
were you 100% believer in that?
Probably sounded like I was, but there was always that question mark. Everything's a question mark for sure, but did I sound like I believed in it? Yeah, I tried to. I tried believing it at times. She'd tell me stuff like, oh. And then sometimes I was like, I don't like this because I'm not, you know,
Well,
I haven't lived very many lives.
What was your spiritual name that she would use for you?
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
I don't remember if she had another name for me. Man, it's the memories.
And then how were you related to her? How were you related to Lori?
So she was Joseph Smith, but I forgot his name now, but one of his descendants, right? One of his great-great-great-great-grandfathers, so he was his great Joseph Smith. Anyway, her name was Mary Smith, and he was, whoever the other Smith man was, I forgot his name now. I used to know. And I was the oldest of all her kids, and I was Phoebe, and then the last one was Christina. She would have Christina, I think, at the last, or the second to last, something like that. She had like 10.
With the same father?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so she only had one husband in that one, according to her. Now, I don't believe that now, just for the record.
Right.
I do not believe any of this stuff.
So Lori was your mom?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's times you call her mom and some
Yeah,
text
yeah,
messages.
yeah. Did I 100% believe in it? Say like, I buried in the 90s at times, you know, but.
Oh my God. So she called her mom. Like, you guys listen to this? This is so crazy. Just when we thought this story couldn't be any crazier, from everything we learned, it's like, it can't even be any crazier. And then we're hearing these new interviews like, okay, so Lori was her mom, and Melanie actually called her mom, guys. Wow. This is weird. Okay. I gotta continue. Sorry. I just had to make a remark on that.
I tried it like, is this really, I mean, they would obviously be like, is this really true? This is so far out here, you know? I definitely questioned all of it. I mean.
Well.
But it sounded like I did, because I referred to it as I did.
And that's the thing we want to address is,
yeah.
You know, it's probably going to be something the defense hits on, right?
Sure.
I mean, based on all this stuff, reading the text messages and the conversations, it looks like you were probably closest to Lori more than anybody in that group, even probably more than Zulema.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, you know, be prepared. That's probably something that they're going to hit on. And there are some text messages where you call her mom, and you know, you talk about different things. Yeah. Charles being shorter because he's possessed. Yeah. Different things like
absolutely.
That it does make it look like, and I can believe that you believed it, right? I mean, they're manipulative, and there's things that they said and people bought into. Yeah. We just want to get ahead of all that stuff before it comes out in court, right?
And that's my testimony is always going to be like it's going to sound like it. You know, if he said it's going to sound like it, according to text, I believed it, and yes, I did believe it to a certain level. But can you ever believe in something 100% that's not true? Well, I don't think any of us can. But that's my thing is, you believe it enough to sound like you believe in it.
Well, I know.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense because a lot of people who believe in whatever faith they believe in will sometimes question that faith. I mean,
Right.
I get that.
Yeah. Like if I say, do I believe in my church? Is it 100%? Yeah. I believe 100%. Do I believe in Lord? Not 100%.
But have there
Never
been
said
times? Have there been times with your church you're like, sure, make it hard sometimes.
Oh no, I always know it's his. I always
See,
know
I
it's his.
think there's a lot of people out there that are like that. They'll just go,
No, to always believe in everything. Sometimes I might be like, oh, I'm not sure about how I feel about vaccines and prophet doing it. Yeah, I have a little bit of that feeling. So, but I know that is my 100%. But I was never 100% with them. Even though I maybe acted like it, maybe I sounded like it.
Well, understand, they're going to look at it like this, and I'm just going to play devil's advocate, right?
Go ahead.
If
real
you
quick, are you done? Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's be done here. We need to talk to you about some other things.
Okay.
But I want, if we're going to be done.
Oh, you mean this room?
Yeah. Real quick, Phoebe, it was Phoebe and what else? Did you say Christina?
That wasn't me, but Christina was one of her daughters. Did I make that clear? I'm sorry.
Christina.
I was Phoebe, and Christina, the other Nicole and the Christina.
Oh, the other gal, yeah.
She was one of her daughters.
Do you remember what her name was?
If you asked me, I might remember, but if I can come off the top of my head, no.
Okay, so don't you guys wonder what did they talk to her about? And whatever they wanted to talk to her about in another room, is it not recorded? That's what they were saying, right? They wanted to ask her some more questions, but they had to leave the room. So is it stuff that couldn't be on tape or something? I'm not sure. I don't know or was that just what they asked her? It just seemed like that they were taking her somewhere else to ask her something, right? Which I wish I would hear it. But yeah, the more interviews and the more I see Melanie, the crazier she gets to me. I feel like now it makes sense why she was such good friends with Lori, because she's pretty whacked out too. I feel like she's a little out there and very manic. She does seem like she's like manic. Okay, so since it is getting late, we're just gonna do one more. So I just went and changed my thumbnail. Well, I got to change it, upload it. So we're just gonna do Lori and Melanie tonight, because so we just did Melanie, so we're just gonna do Lori. I'm gonna save, because I was gonna do Alex tonight too, but I've been going to bed a little earlier. I like to go to bed shortly, not too much later than my mom, and I don't know. So because I'm still sleeping with her. So yeah, so just one more, because if I did Alex's too, that'd be like another over 3 hours. So let's just do Lori's. So it'll be maybe less than an hour. And we'll call it a night. But eventually I want to keep, through this week, we're going to do all of them live. So we'll end up listening to all of them, because I like watching them with you. I already watch them, but I like watching them with you guys, and we could discuss, and I caught some things I didn't catch the first time. So yeah, let's do Lori's, and then yeah, we'll call it a night. So yeah, Melanie, wow, very entertaining, I tell you that much. I don't even know. I just wish, it's like she remembers all these stupid, silly details, but she doesn't remember the important ones, like in the morning, like about JJ, about that morning, because the morning, that's why they're asking about Monday morning, because that would be the morning that they were at Chad's freaking burying him. So something happened between late Sunday night, early Monday morning. So therefore, by the time they probably got up and they're talking to Lori that morning, JJ would already be gone. So was Lori acting different? Did she say anything? You're on the way home. You call her 4 or 5 times. This is after they just murdered. She basically just murdered her own son. It was a part of it. Whether it was at her hands, it was at her hands. Whether she made Alex do it or not, we know that she was a part of it. It was her idea, a part of her idea. So what did she talk to you about when she called you that day, or when you guys talked 4 or 5 times that day that she just killed her son? You can't remember? Bull crap. You can't remember anything? She's such a freaking liar. I'm sorry. I'm so mad. Come on, just give it up, Melanie. Tell us what the heck happened. There's 2 dead kids. There's a dead woman, and there's a dead man, husband, maybe 2, because we don't know if Joseph Ryan, Alex did anything to him and Lori. I don't know. Maybe Joseph was just natural. Maybe he did just naturally have a heart attack. I don't know, but it is suspicious because she already tried to have him killed once. I don't know. It makes me mad. The defense are going to be all over Melanie too during the trial. Pryor is going to be all over her. I mean, he's going to be coming at her. Mark, I don't know. Mark's not, if Lori had a better lawyer, but I don't know. Mark's not very good, I feel like, as far as what we've seen. So I don't know if he'll be able to get to her, but like, and I'm not going to feel bad for her because she's not saying everything. Now, do I think that it was like that she was a part of the plan? I don't know, but I do think 100% she's holding back, that she's not telling us everything that she knows. So why? Why is she not? Is she because she's afraid because it'll like implicate her in a way that I don't know. I think she's trying to save herself, but I don't know. It's just making me mad. All right. Yeah, I'm not convinced either, Sunshine, but I'm not convinced either way. Like I can't say like, God, I think for sure that that they did something more that I don't know. I have suspicions because she wanted him dead. And we just watched that video earlier that was at the beginning of this where Adam said that their plan was when Alex tasered Joseph that day years ago, that their plan was Alex was going to taser him, throw him in the back of the truck, take him out to a field, shoot him, and bury him. That was the plan. And you see if you look at the incident report from that day, you see that was the plan because you see that he tries to go back down after he tasers Joseph. He tries to go back and chase him and taser him again. So it wasn't just to like scare him. He was trying to kill him. He was trying to get him on the ground so he could take him. And Joseph got away. He ran away and he ended up calling the cops. So he was able to run away. The plan didn't work. The taser didn't knock him out like Alex was hoping. So yeah, it does make me think maybe, but they can't find that connection yet to Lori and Joseph's death. Doesn't mean that they don't have nothing to do with it, but maybe they poisoned him. I don't know. Like that would be what would have happened. If he had a heart attack, they would have to probably have given him something, but so anyway, all right. So let's do this. What does it mean out loud? Meaning she wasn't being told. Yeah, what did she say that to, BC Babbles? I told you this guy's out loud. What was she referring to? Now I forget. Hold on. She said, yeah, I told you guys this. I forget what part, but yeah, she says some suspicious things. And she's not convincing, like when she says things like how, oh, I wish I could remember. Oh, I'm trying so hard. Oh, I wish it doesn't, like you could tell that she's not being honest. Like it doesn't feel like she's being sincere at all when she's saying that stuff. It's like you feel like she's such a liar. Like I feel like lies. Like I don't believe anything for some reason. That's just my gut. And I feel like a lot of you guys are feeling the same way with her. I don't know. Somebody said earlier that, that they had seen something with Melanie. I haven't seen any yet, so they might come out. I would like to see them. I'll let you know if they come out. I'll upload them. I haven't seen anything yet. All right, so let me get Lori's here. Oh, you guys ready to watch Lori? Hers isn't that long, like I said. Hers, I think the upload's like 55 minutes, but half of it is like just where she's sitting there because they leave and they're done. Well, let me just see what some of you guys are commenting about Melanie before I start it. See what you guys are saying. JJ climbing up to. Yeah. I know. I was waiting for her to bring that up. Yeah. She didn't say anything about that. What else? Baby Millie. Yeah, they definitely need her. Yeah. I mean, I forget. Wait. Yeah, I'm trying to think like what some of this thing that they do actually need her for, but yeah, it does. Well, really, I guess some of the things that Alex said is a big thing to Melanie. But the fact that she was there the night that it happened to JJ and that she can't give us any important information. Anything that links them to it, like anything, she can't even give anything about that. Like that's just what's bothering me. Like nothing important about that's helping connect them to JJ's murder. Seriously, how has she helped that day she was there? Like, what has she said that's helped for that? Nothing. The only thing is that conversation with Alex that she had is big. And what else is big, guys? What else is it like that she's a good witness? I know there is some other things because when she first came out, it was like, wow, she's a good witness. But I can't even think right now what else that it would help convict them. Remind me. Oh, I can't think right now. She was taking things. I mean, I guess they're crazy beliefs and stuff, but we all know. I mean, I don't. And like Charles having no, I mean, what? Yeah, she's more obscure than ever about the events of the most important date. Yes, I know. Okay. Yeah, the phone call, yeah. I remember it. Yeah, I think she's trying to save her own self. All right. Oh, wait, Marie's leaving, Maria? Where you going, Marie? You got to go to bed? Or I'm trying to see what. Yeah. I mean, I believe that, like, at least she did order him, but was that the final thing when Joseph finally, I shouldn't say finally, that sounds bad, but when Joseph actually died, was it Alex? Because I know she had asked Alex too, and I'm sure she'd asked him more than once, but did he ultimately get to him was it him that actually did it? I don't know. I mean, I think there is a good chance, but I think they're going to have trouble proving that and making that charge, I think, because they're having trouble finding anything. They've looked into it. They said that they've looked into it. You've heard that they're looking, but they can't make that connection. But yeah, I think there's a good chance maybe he somehow got, I'm trying to think how he could have got to, like, poison him in a way or to cause that. Okay, so yeah, because East Idaho, her mood was totally different. She was more like reserved. Not, I mean, she talked a lot, but she wasn't like all hoo, like she seems like manic in this interview until they started talking about JJ and that night. And then she kept going like this and biting her lips. And she was her nose a lot. And a nose, that's also like a sign of like a deception, right? Like, so like, yeah, it could be drug use or it could just be like nervousness, deception. She was constantly doing this. She's biting her lip a lot. She was like just touching her face a lot. She was looking in that camera a heck of a lot. So she knew that camera was there. And a couple of times it was almost like she was talking for the camera, like this. She knew, and it was like, just go back and watch how many times she makes straight eye contact into the camera. Because it looks like she's looking right at you so many times. So, all right. And you could tell the cops were not buying it. They were just looking at it. They were not buying it. You could just tell by just their body language and just, even though we can only see like kind of the side of them, you could still tell that they're just like, no, all right. And Zalama's is just as bad as far as like the lying aspect. I know that's the thing though. This is supposed to be a witness that's going to help convict Chad and Lori, right? Melanie. And they're probably like freaking out interviewing her now, like thinking, God, she's all over the place. How is she going to help? Like she keeps saying she can't remember anything. She can't, I mean, now imagine being the pressure of like Pryor interrogating her, Pryor questioning her up on the stand. And now she can't even remember things. Like, can you imagine? She might not even help. She really might not. The way she's can't. Ugh, it's just making me mad that she's doing that. Okay, I just wanted to see what you guys were saying before about Melanie to see any other comments that I could respond to. Oh, nice. Working on your music? Oh, you should send me some. What kind of music? Yeah, exactly. They're probably getting so annoyed. It's like they're asking a question. It's like she just tells this long story and doesn't even answer. All right. All right, guys, we're gonna. You guys ready for Lori? The stood in a circle trying to cast on you. Yeah, and then the fact that she couldn't even remember like which casting party, or I don't know if you call them casting parties, but casting events that she was at, and like what people said. Like I feel like you would remember some of the specifics because that's a pretty memorable experience. You know, I feel like how aren't you going to remember whose you were at? And like, I don't know. I'm just not believing that she's not remembering some of those details. And that makes me think about this. If she's hiding that, okay, where she's saying, well, I don't know. Like, well, who are the people that she'd be hiding that for? Either some of the people that are dead, right? So she already admitted to doing the Charles. So it's not Charles, right? Because she already admitted to being at that one. So the ones that she can't remember, so she's trying to save herself. So who would she be afraid to admit that they were doing that to? Has to be Tylee or JJ, right? And she says, well, it can't be Tylee because, or it can't be JJ because JJ, his, you know, they didn't say he had a zombie until September, and this was before that. So was it Tylee that you're trying to hide? You know, she's like, well, it might be Tammy and Brandon. I'm thinking it was Tylee. One of the ones that she was at was Tylee's, and she just doesn't want to admit it because then it would be like she kept information from him that maybe she could have hinted that, you know, that they did do something to Tylee, you know? So yeah, I think that was the person she was hiding for one of those casting things that she conveniently couldn't remember who it was. All right. So I'm going to do it, guys. I mean, I'm going to play Lori's now. All right, here we go.
You want me to? Yeah. And then I'll so just make it.
Hey, real quick, because some of you guys, like if I have comments up, you won't be able to see the date. This is the morning that they shot Charles. Okay, so this is the morning that Charles was shot, the interview. And then when I do Tylee's, it's the morning too. So just remember that. This is at what, 9:42? All right, sorry. I just wanted to, because I know I'm going to put comments up and then you can't see, just so hopefully if anybody comes in and asks, let them know.
Sweet. Yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
But I'll be at your desk. So if you want to
Yeah, Longfoot's using the other one,
Okay.
so you'll be, Brendan's gonna monitor for him.
Okay, so just run out this way
Okay.
if there's anything, but if, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I know, you know what, I have such a struggle because she'll be in the hospital, you go back to school, I try to talk to the teachers, but in high school, they don't care. They're like, you're not here, do the work, or don't. Like, they don't care. They're
Well, and I think
loyal.
with high school, it's like, they're just pumping.
But when she was in elementary and junior high, all the teachers worked with her. They were nice about it. But by high school, there's so many kids that just don't care. And I was like, just take it. You're so smart. Let's just take it. See if you pass it. She passed it. Like,
And got a really good score?
Yeah, she passed it with like college ready in every category the first time.
Well, and now she can do what she wants, so.
Exactly.
She's better off that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know Laura's your first name, right?
Yeah.
Lauri?
Lori.
Okay. And then what's your last name?
Vallow. Vallow.
And your date of birth? And your phone number? And you live at the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, I know this sounds silly,
Mm-hmm.
but it's probably the easiest way to start, is just to tell me what happened. And then, so you can start what makes the most sense to you, and we'll just work our way through, and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions just to kind of clarify.
Sure.
So I know you talked to the initial patrol officer.
And he just got information. He didn't say
Okay.
anything.
So yeah, if you can just kind of tell me kind of what happened. It sounds like some of this may have started last night or something along those lines.
Right.
So start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay, so,
I told you, it's a crazy question.
Well, so we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is. So we
Okay.
were in Houston. And so he's like, we had decided to separate or whatever. So he's like, well, I'll pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ. Because we adopted him together. He's his great nephew. We adopted him as a baby. And so we adopted him as a baby, and so we've been raising him together. And he travels all the time for business, so he's used to just going back and forth. So he's always gone like Monday through Friday. So he came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul. And then he hasn't been back. But it's all these threats on my phone all the time, you know, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me...
What kind of threats?
Just... You'd have to read them to see, but he's always mad at me, right? And he doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him, so that's just how it is. Like, so we married for 14 years, we've dealt with it for 14 years, of him being horrible to her. Like, he gets in huge fights with her, a lot of things. But anyway, so he said, I'm coming Wednesday night, all of a sudden. I want to see JJ, and I told him, I said, I will never keep JJ from you. You can come see him whenever you want to, come take him to school, whatever, like, I'm not going to do that.
So when you initially moved, he had said he was going to buy you a house, so you moved here with your...
Yeah, he was going to rent us a house.
And so you moved...
All my family lives here. So we lived here for a long time.
Okay.
And then he moved us to Houston.
Okay.
And we were there with my son. He was out of school. He didn't have any of his, like, services, his DDD, his anything. He, like, ripped him out of school and said, we're moving.
Okay.
And I didn't go with him at first. And he took him. And I let him take him, and I didn't file anything or whatever. And then he filed something against me and said, I'm only going to get supervised visits because I'm crazy and blah, 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 you know, the story. And so I just didn't talk to him for like 30 days and let him take care of him and let him see what I've been doing for the past 7 years, because men need to do that. You know, I have 5 kids, I have grown kids, I have grandkids. Like, okay, you're going to threaten me that you're not going to let me see my child without supervised visitation? Okay, do it for 30 days and see how long it lasts. You're begging me to come pick him up.
Yeah.
Which he did. Just like, come back and whatever. So I moved in with them to Houston for the family, you know, and Tylee went with me. We drove to Houston from here and left all our family and all his support, all my son's support, like his cousins, everything. And we were there, and I enrolled him in school there. I tried to start all his services, and it takes forever.
Yeah.
You know, it takes so long to get that done.
There's no easy transferring.
There's no easy transfer.
You start from the beginning.
It's a totally new thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't do any of it in those 30 days. So he just had gone without services, without even applying. And I'm like, do you even realize? Because he didn't ever do it in the first place. I did it. Long story. I'll keep it short. He hasn't been here in a couple weeks since we moved in. He came. He was very nasty when he was there, but he travels for business. So he went back to the Houston house, and he's like, I'm coming on Wednesday night, and I'm going to come pick up JJ and take him to school Thursday, pick him up Thursday, take him Friday, whatever. And I said, Casey wanted to come to the house, and I said, you can't come stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee. She's a minor. She has to live here.
Yeah.
So because he gets in huge fights up there.
Okay.
And she hates him. And so I'm like, you can't stay at the house, so I will book you a hotel, because he stays in hotels all the time because he travels for business, and the business pays for it, right? So I said, I will book you a hotel nearby.
What does he do?
He works with teachers and their retirement plans, but he goes to them at their school. He mostly works in California, no matter where we live. And we lived in Hawaii, he'd work in California, he'd work in Texas. He has like books of business in different areas. And so he just goes wherever. It kind of just gives him freedom that he doesn't have to stay home every day and take care of special needs child. It's like an excuse, right? So I've done that myself for the past 7 years anyway. And I was a single mom before I married him with my 2 kids. And he had 2 kids. We got married, tried to make a family. You know how it goes. Anyway. So he said he was coming last night. I said, well, you can't stay at this house because you can't get along with Eileen. I'll get you a hotel and you can come play with JJ. But he goes to school all day.
Yeah.
I got him back into his school. His services, I met with the DDD yesterday and they finally are getting his services back. But we're paying $125 a day to have him back in school because he's so out of his routine. He's been a nightmare on the floor, kicking stuff, hitting stuff, walls. Like, he just ripped him out of his life.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just how he is because he only thinks about himself. So. He says, coming to get JJ, and JJ's like, I don't want Dad, because he knows Dad took him away, so he was freaking out, right? So I didn't tell him he was even coming, like Dad's going to come take you to school or anything. So he didn't bother me last night, which I was surprised. I was expecting kind of an ambush for him to kind of like come over or be just mean and say, it's my house, I'm on the lease, I'm going to stay here, kind of thing, because that's kind of his macho attitude. And so he came this morning. I was getting JJ ready.
So he got in last night, but he wasn't at the house last night.
Yeah, I didn't hear from him, except for he texted me and said, I'll be there at 7:30 to pick up JJ.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that was good, because I didn't hear from him. And then he came over in the morning and he's like banging on the door. I'm like, oh great, here we go, you know. And I was just gonna be nice. I was just gonna be nice as possible. And I had JJ stuff all ready for school. And so.
Do you remember about what time he got there?
He said he'd be there at 7:30, but it was more like 7:40-ish or 7:35. I don't know.
Okay.
But I remember thinking, looking at the clock, and he wasn't there at 7:30, and he's usually Mr. On time. Yes. So I was like, okay. And then JJ was like, oh, Dad. And then he was like, Mommy, and like ran to me and was like holding me. He's like, you're not taking me to school. And I was like, it's okay, Daddy can just drive you to school. It's not a big deal. You know, just trying to make it whatever.
Calm.
Yeah, calm. And then he was just being real smirky and real like jerky, you know, to me. And I was like ignoring him, whatever. And so he was like,
and your brother lives there with you?
No.
Okay.
He had stayed with me last night because I was worried he was going to come over and cause trouble with me.
Okay.
And just wanted someone else there, like my brother there, because I trust my brother. And it's been a long story. Like, I had to go live at my brother's when he took JJ, and, you know, he's just been difficult. So, anyway. So I got JJ's stuff ready, and he was like, well, and he's like this about timing. He's like, I'm leaving in 20 minutes, because it's like 15 minutes to the school, and like you can't get there early, they don't open the gates until 8:20 or something like that. And I said, well, why don't you just go now? I don't want him in the house. I'm like, why don't you just go now and take him to Burger King, because that's what he likes for breakfast. And he's very particular about food. Like, he wanted chicken fries for breakfast and a Sprite. Like, and I just get what he wants, because if you don't get what he wants, then it's like on the floor screaming, dragging him into school. Like, and he's big and he's heavy and it's hard for me to handle. But anyway, so I said, just go. And so he said, okay. So I gave him a backpack. He got in the car. This is his MO, right? He always leaves something in the house and comes back. He never leaves the first time. I always expect my husband to come back into the house, right? So I guess he had left his phone on the counter.
So he initially left with the backpack and with JJ?
And so he put them in the car,
in
the driveway, and then he came back in, right? So I kissed JJ goodbye. He came back in, and his phone was on the counter, and I had his phone. And he was like, giving me my phone, and I was like, why don't you show me your text that you've been texting, blah, 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 you know, whatever. Because he's like acting really weird, like he's plotting something against me. Like, I'm like, why are you even here? Like, what did you come here for? You know, he's been talking to my other brother, and my brother came into town at the same time last night, and I haven't talked to my brother in a while, my other brother, and I was like, and so he was texting him on the phone when he first got to my house, and I'm like, why are you texting Adam? Like, do you even talk to him? Like, my other brother. And, you know, he's been telling me all these texts, like, you're going down, blah, 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 blah. He's blaming me for our marriage breaking up and my niece getting divorced and my friend getting divorced. He said, I'm a destroyer of families because I want everybody to get divorced. I'm like, what would my motivation be for people getting divorced? So I could babysit the kids more? Like, why would I have any control over what people do?
Yeah.
So it's just very odd. But anyway, he goes nuts. He's gone nuts on us a lot of times. Tyler and I have had to leave with JJ over the years probably 5 times and just stay in a hotel for 2 days because he goes nuts. Like, you don't know what's going to set him off. Like, whatever. And she's mad at me for always, like, going back, but we had JJ and he's special needs and it's really hard. Like it's even hard to take care of by yourself.
So when you say he goes nuts, that can mean a lot of different things.
Right.
So goes nuts like yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
goes
yelling
nuts
and screaming,
like breaking
like,
things.
yes.
Goes nuts like physical violence.
He's never really, besides like grabbing us or pushing us, but not like punching us or something. But with Tylee, he has gotten physical.
Okay.
Before, and with my grown son.
Like physical how?
Like got into a physical fist fight with my son when he was 16.
Okay.
And he came after Tylee 2 times in Hawaii.
Okay.
And like went like he was going to hit her, but then I got in between them. Right.
How old was she when that happened?
Probably 13 and 14.
Okay. So this morning he comes back in and...
He comes back in, I wouldn't give him his phone. He was screaming at me to give him his phone. He was very worried about whatever was on his text that he did not want me to see. And so I was just holding it there and he was screaming at me. And I was kind of walking towards around the house with it so he couldn't get it. He's like reaching for it and stuff like that. And so Tylee came out of her room upset and she had a bat. And she told him to leave her mother alone, like, right? So she was really, whatever, and he's screaming at her, don't you hit me with that bat, blah, 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 blah. And then my brother heard all the commotion because he was in there in bed, and so he came out into the main room, and I guess whatever.
What's your brother's name?
Alex.
Alex, okay.
And then he just started, he was screaming, and he was super upset, and whatever, and he's yelling at Tylee, don't you hit me with that bat, and blah, blah, blah. And so Tylee, I guess, I don't know if she swung at him or what, but he like grabbed the bat from Tylee and then went to like hit Tylee with the bat. It was, and I was right there, and they were right there, and my brother grabbed him from behind, like just to stop him from hitting Tylee.
You go like this, like he grabbed him like...
Yeah, from behind, like just kind of to pull him back. And then they got into the thing, and he's hitting him with the bat, and they're on the ground, like grappling around or whatever. And then, I mean, it was all
and he
quickly.
And he hit your brother with the bat while they were grappling and stuff?
Yeah, yes, he was hitting him with the bat, like swinging the bat, you know, back and forth, and they were kind of like on the ground, and I was like freaking out trying to go around, knowing JJ was in the car, right? And so then he got up and he had the bat like this towards me, and I was going around the other side to try to just get out of his range where he couldn't hit me. And then I had told Tylee, because she was on the ground, because after he took the bat from her, she fell back. And so I told her, I was like, go get in the car with JJ. Like, I don't want JJ coming in to the house, or, and I wanted her out of the way. I wanted the kids out of the way of whatever this fight was going to be. And then,
do you remember what your husband or your brother were saying or yelling during all of this? If they were at all?
Just kind of, get off me, ow, or whatever, you know, whatever. They were like, don't talk to my niece about it, whatever. Like, it was, I don't remember specifics, but they were kind of both, they were kind of in the heat of it. I don't think there was many words that I remember.
So Tylee goes outside.
Yeah, she was outside. And
then what happened?
Then they got up from that, and my brother had like stepped back, I guess, and then Charles was coming with me at the back, yelling at me to give him his phone still, because I had it in my hand. It was all really quickly. And then when I went around kind of in the circle, then my brother was there.
When you said when you were going around and he was coming at you with the bat, how was he holding the bat?
Just like that, like backwards, almost in one arm.
Like he was swinging it backwards? He would have done like
he would have swung it backwards at me, not frontwards.
Okay, yeah.
He was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good idea for Charlie to get out of that.
Probably not the.
I mean, he played semi-pro when he was young. But, yeah, and then I was kind of turned around, and we were all right there in that room, except for the kids had been outside by that time, and I heard the gunshot. And
so you heard the shot? Did you actually see the shot, or did you just hear it?
I had gone around to the kitchen to get away from him, and so back around. So I don't know if you went in the house.
I didn't, so I'm like a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, so I didn't see the shot. I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground.
Okay.
And was freaking out.
Yeah.
And so I was just freaking out, and I just went into Mama and like, I've got to go to get JJ to school. I've got to get to the kids. I just felt like I got to get to the kids. And so I just went outside and to see if they were in there okay. I didn't want them coming back in the house when all that was going on. And got JJ in the car, and he was trying to come in. And Tylee was like looking at me with like the crazy eyes, like what just happened. And I told her to get in the car and we're going to take JJ to school. And I just left.
When you came back in and you saw him on the ground, where was your brother? Did you see him where he was at?
Yeah, he was right in front of him.
Okay.
Like it all happened very quickly. That
Right.
was, I mean, I feel like I was there because I was right there, and like a second later, like
Okay.
I just went around the kitchen to get away from him.
Did your brother say anything to you at all? Do you remember?
No, we were both just in shock.
Okay.
Like it was just I didn't say anything. I went out with the kids just to check on them first, and I was gonna come back in maybe, but I didn't. I was like, I just have to get him to school and call the police and come back, whatever.
Did anybody say did you or your brother say anything at some point about calling the police or calling 911? Do you remember?
Yeah, he called me.
Okay.
And he said, "Are you taking JJ to school?" And I said, "Yeah, we need to call the police." And he said, "Okay."
Okay. So he called you when you didn't come back inside, basically?
Right.
Okay.
Because I was like in the car for a minute, and then I was like, "What do I do?" And I didn't want JJ to go inside, and I didn't know what to do. And Tylee was freaking out. I was trying to get them away from the scene.
Understandable. And you may not know this, so, because I know you heard the shot, do you know at what point your brother had the gun? Do you know if he had it when they got in their first fight, or did he have to go get it, or do you know that at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And do you remember if you ever heard your brother?
I didn't see him ever leave the room.
Okay.
So it was so fast. All that was so fast. Like him on the ground rolling around, and I'm screaming. And
this probably happened in a couple seconds.
Yeah, I mean it was like super fast.
And I don't know if you know this or not. Does your brother normally carry a gun? Like I carry a gun everywhere I go.
Right. Like I know he's a gun person. Like he has guns and things.
Okay.
He's good with guns.
Did you know that he had one with him?
No.
When he came over?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because he's very, very professional with guns.
Proficient, professional. Responsible is usually a good
right. Responsible with guns.
And then, do you remember if at any time, so you were trying to get away from him, and you heard the shot. Prior to the shot, do you remember at any point hearing your husband or your brother saying anything to either of them?
No.
So my second very ridiculous question is there anything else that I didn't ask about, or anything that we didn't cover that you think is important? I always ask that just because I wasn't there, and so we're going through something that happened a super small amount of time.
Yes. Can I
step? Yeah, go for it.
Just thinking. Just that he was just so angry, like super scary.
Did you
know how you take your phone away from like a 16-year-old and you freak out? Like their world disintegrates. Like, I've taken my phone away from a 16-year-old boy before, and he's like wanted to kill himself because like they kidnapped him. That's how it was. It was like, if something on his phone that he does not want me to see, that he was like freaking out, like to the point where I thought he would hit me in the back of the head to get the phone.
Okay. So you thought, and not, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you.
Absolutely, he was going to hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ. He would never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like, he was going like ballistic about. It was bad.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk to her real quick.
Okay.
And then if obviously, you know, we'll be here for a little bit. Hopefully not too much longer. But if you think of anything, or there's anything that kind of pops in your head, or something else that we didn't cover, obviously. So I'm going to go talk to her for just a little bit, and then I'll kind of come back and check with you, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I know my partner's talking to your brother over in one of the other interview rooms. So we're going to just try to get, you know, as much done as we can and go from there.
Okay.
Okay? And then, is there anybody that you need to call or anything, or you want to wait a little bit?
I don't know what I would say.
No. And wait a little bit, we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know what I would say.
And if you want to, you can think about it. So we do have victim services that work within the police department. They're right over here. They're not cops, they're civilians. And they do, Jessica, who's out there with the fire department, so they're kind of our crisis response. They come right away. So our victim services that work in the department are kind of more long-term type support systems. So they're just a really good resource because they do a lot of stuff with our families and things like that, and can help with support services and questions you might have.
She's been through so much.
So it might be a good idea.
I just can't stand for her to have to go through all this.
Yeah, it might be a good idea maybe before I take you guys back today, that I get one of them to come in and maybe sit and talk with you guys and see. And it's not something there's a bunch of stuff they can, you know, offer, but it's good to have a contact and like a name and a face and a phone number.
That'd be good.
You know, that way maybe a couple days from now, a week from now, or if there's something going on or you think you need help with something, it may not be something that's necessarily up like me and my partner's alley, but it very much may be up theirs. So I'd like for you to meet one of them before we leave. That way, hopefully if there's something that they can help you and your daughter with, they can, or even JJ or whatever else.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I hadn't even thought about him.
Yeah. So.
I mean, he's used to him not being there, but he wouldn't understand even if you told him.
Right.
Like, that somebody passed away, he doesn't understand what
that means. Well, I mean, it's hard at 7 to understand that
anyway. That's true, but with him he just doesn't, which is probably better because he doesn't comprehend things, but I don't know, it's just, it's a lot to think about.
Yeah. So let me go find one of them, and then we'll make sure that you guys get to meet with them before you leave, because that might be something very helpful for you guys. And I'm going to go speak with your daughter for just a little bit, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay.
Okay? And if you need anything, let me know, okay? Okay.
Here for a minute because, well, I might fast forward a little bit because this goes on because the lady does come back in for a minute, but wish I could put it in fast motion, but with how I'm sharing this, I don't think it will. I'll mute it for a minute while pretending like she's wiping. Like, what are you wiping? You're not crying. You're like, come on. Ugh. And then she says, "Oh, I don't want to put like she's been through so much, but look what you end up doing to her. It's just, ugh." There's something else I wanted to remark too that she said. Hold on, let me think. What was it? So she said that. So yeah, so oh, that's what I wanted to remark. This was at the beginning. Oh, thanks, Antoinette. Thanks, joining. Welcome to. Why won't this let me put? Oh, I have to put it up on screen over here. Thanks for joining, Antoinette. Welcome. New member in the house with a pretty flower picture. But do you notice how she always has to define JJ by being a drug baby? Because you could tell that's what she says when they bleep it out. And then she says it in other interviews too. She always has to make sure that she says that, just like when she said it in the there was the recording with the cops too, when they went to, I think it was when they knocked on her door, maybe when they were looking for, remember the audio? Is that when she says it? There's a few times, I feel like at least 3 times you hear her say, "Oh, he's a drug baby," like, or you'll see it in like transcripts. Like, she defines him by that. And I don't think she should put so much importance on that. Like, she has to make sure she words it like that and tells everybody that's not him. I mean, that's not how you define him. That's not how you describe him. You know, like, I just don't find that very, I mean, that's your kid that you adopted. I mean, you could tell that she just doesn't have like that love for him. Cause I mean, he's more than that. And the fact that you're making that so important, like that's such an important factor of who he is. It's not who he is, you know? So I don't know. I don't know why that bothers me every time she says it. And also the fact that Alex, I'm pretty sure it was 45 minutes, right? That they said that he waited to call the cops. So they made sure, because they wanted to make sure that Charles just sat there and died before they called the cops, and he probably like took a chance of them saving him or whatever. So yeah, if you look at the timing on the reports, I'm pretty sure they said it was like 45 minutes that he waited. So what does that mean? So she says that she leaves. He calls her and says, "Hey, you know, where'd you go?" And she said, "Taking JJ to school, call the cops." So what time did that happen? Because obviously there's probably a phone call that shows that, maybe if she said that happened. We know that she went to Burger King, got uploaded that video. If you guys haven't seen that, we'll watch that another time. But I have that uploaded where I zoomed in. So she goes through Burger King's drive-through before she takes JJ to school. So on the way to school, so after Charles is dead, after they shoot him, she goes to Burger King. So that just makes me wonder, where else did she go? Because 45 minutes before he calls the cops, and they're already there by the time Lori gets home. So I don't know. It's crazy. What did Alex just sat there? That's why I think somebody said a self-inflicted wound. I think possibly that he could have. I don't know, or could it? Maybe they did get into a little altercation that they caused. They wanted it to happen, so they made sure that they made like some tension and some fight go on between Charles. Or, well, there probably was. I mean, they probably did make sure a fight went on a little bit, but I still am not convinced that little scratch on his head, I think Alex could have done that to himself. He had 45 minutes and he pretended, oh, it was just a little scratch. So yeah, I think he could have done it. He could have just took the bat and like kind of like scraped himself or something, I think. I mean, I'm not saying for sure, but it has crossed my mind, because it wasn't like a big thing. He didn't have like a big bump. It was just a little scratch that he kept wiping. It was stupid. Like she said, Charles was a professional, semi-professional baseball player. He would have done a lot more damage than that. So But I bet you there was a little altercation because she wouldn't give the phone, so they were probably screaming at him, and Tylee had the bat, and they escalated it on purpose, I'm sure. So, sorry, I'm just talking while we're waiting for her to come back in the room. This is on play. I don't have it muted. That's how still that she's sitting. Like, I don't have this paused. It's playing. She's just sitting. She's just sitting that still. Wow. I muted it, but I didn't pause it. See, look, I'll unmute it. It's still. You can't even barely see her breathing. Wow. That's true. Yeah, Alex, Tylee, yeah. The mothership. Or maybe she's going to visit Chad in their portal. she left her body and she went to jump and somehow went to visit Chad. I don't know. How are you so relaxed after your husband was just shot and died? I mean, you're just, look, no like stress. I mean, no heavy breathing. She is calm as ever. I mean, you think maybe if you'd be upset, I don't know, you just wouldn't be able to sit that still. Oh, sorry. We're going to watch Tylee sometime too, so don't worry, but yeah, you can hear. Summoning more demons. Yeah, she is, Jared. The portal. I know. It's like, I feel like he didn't start getting on her nerves so much until she met Chad, and now she wants to be with another guy. No, Rachel, I haven't. I'll have to get that. I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to see. I haven't heard that. From who, though, Rachel? Like, who called the insurance company? Lori, you mean? Or wait, did I? Hold on, when did that come out? If it was recently, no. I'm trying to think. I read the transcripts. I read the thing about the insurance. Did I hear it? Hold on. I don't know if I did. If it's new, no. Okay, then no, I haven't, Rachel. No, if it's new. Hey, Mama Mia. Mez in the house. Hootie all. Jenny Stone. Too much mom. Too much mom. I mean, that's like the quick version. Yeah, basically. I mean, there's a lot, a lot of specifics, but yeah, her 2 kids were found in her new husband's yard, buried in the yard. Charles was shot by her brother. Alex ended up dead. Chad's wife ended up dead. So Charles died, and then Chad's wife died, and then they got married, Chad and Lori. And what else? We don't know if Joseph Ryan, his death a couple of years ago, I think his death was 2018, right? So the year prior, if I'm remembering right, Joseph died. They should have shut that door though. Like, why? The whole point of separating them and interviewing them, right, is so they, you know, get the truth, or they see if anybody's lying here, right? So why are they keeping the doors open so Lori could hear everything? And then Tylee probably heard everything Lori was saying, right? They have the freaking doors open. That makes me mad. Yeah, she's listening. You better believe it. Wonder if she said something that Lori didn't like. Oh, is the door... Well, wow, the door sounds open to me. How can you hear that good with the door closed? Are you serious? So did you hear the door shut? Is that why you're saying that? Wow. Like, we could... If I didn't talk, and we're... Like I said, we're going to watch this Tylee's interview anyway, so we could hear everything that she said. I mean, like, if we wanted to, we'd be able to hear every word, I feel like, right? Well, maybe not. You'd have to really... But you got to remember, though, this is a video, so we hear that white noise, that, like, static noise that Lori wouldn't have to hear, you know, because she's in person, so she probably hears every freaking word. Yeah, there were major differences. And even between, there was a couple differences between Tylee and Lori, because if you remember that there were the reports before these, I'm just going to mute it for a minute, but before these, now remember, this is not paused, this is just muted, so let's see how still, but before these videos came out, there was the police reports of what they said. Remember, they go over what each person said, Alex, Lori, and Tylee, what they said in these interviews. And remember, there was discrepancies. I actually did a video on like the story, like the differences in the stories, in their stories when they first came out. I don't know how long ago it was when the reports came out, but yeah, there were a few, not like a ton, but there were some like big things about like whether Lori was in the house when the gunshot went off, and whether just like Alex giving a reason why he was there, and it's not the same reason that Lori says. I forget what else. There's probably there was a few, probably, like, I feel like I'm just missing one more. No, there might have been a couple about I feel like there was something about the bat too, that there was a couple differences about that specific situation, about something about the bat. I remember I pointed out, and then there's something else. Yeah. Oh, wait, a cup. Do you mean my merch cups, you mean? So the coffee cups? I have, wait, hold on. Do I have the mug? I have a mug. I'm trying to think. I might have gave it away, because I had a mug. I might have I think I had one for each of my merch. I think I had two, and I feel like I gave them for giveaways. I'll have to go look for next live if I still have it. And I think I have one of the other, what are they called? The tumbler things. I think I have one of my merch. I know I had two mugs, but I can't remember if I gave them both away. But I'll show you. If I don't even know if that's what you're talking about. If that's what you're talking about, I'll check for next time. If not, I could order one. Well, I don't know. How much longer do we have? I don't know if I should just fast forward it to when she comes back in. It's basically over. She just comes back in for a minute. Let's see. Okay, I'm going slowly. Look, it doesn't even, she's not moving at all. And I'm like fast forwarding through it. So it would be like intensify, but it's not. She barely, wow. Oh, there you go. Go. All right. Start kind of fall. Oh, there we go.
I like your daughter a lot.
She's fun.
Yeah. So one of the victim services, Denise, is here. So I kind of told her just a little bit of what happened. So if you're good with it, I'm going to have her come over and I'm going to introduce her to you guys so you guys can talk for a little bit, which kind of works well too because I need to run over to where my partner's at and just talk to him a little bit. That way you guys will have a little bit, hopefully, extra support if you need it. So I'm going to go grab Denise real fast and then introduce you guys.
Okay.
Okay?
That'd be great.
Okay,
So this is Denise.
Hi. Hi. Sorry. That's funny. That's funny. I'm so.
So she's gonna take you over to like a conference room so you guys can sit and talk and stuff. And then you can just, once you guys talk and kind of, you can decide if you're comfortable with Tylee coming in or whatever.
Okay, sure.
And then we'll
I just didn't want her to be left alone and
Yeah,
by herself.
yeah.
She's freaking out. Like,
So we keep kind of popping in and checking on her and
I
stuff.
just didn't want her to be alone too long.
Yeah.
We'll be as brief for as long as you want, okay? I'm here to try to, you got lots of choices when you talk, so we'll just get started and then then we'll go from there. Does that sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks.
They handed me this, but that was just out of his rental car.
We tend to do strange things sometimes.
okay, so I wasn't even on mute there. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more. If for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm just gonna play the quick video of Lori and JJ and Tylee basically going through the drive-through that morning. So this would have been right after the whole incident, before she takes JJ to school, because you can see JJ in the passenger seat, goes through, Burger King's drive-through, like right after it all happened. So I did it once and then I zoomed in so basically I played the video once real quick and then I zoomed in. So it's a little bit blurry when I zoom in, but just so we could see a little bit more. And then that'll be it then. Figured it's only a couple minutes. Might as well do this. I could just fast forward this. There we go. There's no sound. I think I added music to my upload. That's why I muted it, but there's no actual sound on it. So you'll see her pulling up here. Right there. So this is at 7:54 a.m. on that day, that morning. And so you can see JJ and then see if you can see Tylee. Tylee should be in the back. They blur out the whole person. They didn't have to blur out so much. I still don't think, like, why? Huge blur. Wow. Wow, 10:30. My mom's probably already in bed, actually. I'm not a night owl anymore, guys. Like, this is late for me compared to I've been going to bed at like 9 lately. It's crazy, I know. because I just been going to bed with my mom, you know. Okay, so you could see a good look at JJ now right there, huh? And then I zoom in, which, I mean, you know, when you can zoom in, it kind of makes things a little bit more blurry and pixelated, but itching her head. Yeah, and then Tylee hands her purse from the back seat. I don't know if you guys catch that. She like reached back. And that blur covers up a lot of it. Yeah, man, Stina, I've been covering that case. That when I've been back for a couple weeks now. The first case I actually, when I came back after we all were sick in the family, and I don't know, just after everything, Gabby was actually the first video that, you know, it was the main case I've been covering since I have been back, actually. Go check it out, because I had a lot of, you guys must not be getting reminders, because my views are like a 20th of, I mean, they're really a lot lower since I've been back. So I don't, maybe since I was gone for a couple weeks, I don't know if it's screwed up and now you guys aren't getting notifications or recommendations, but yeah, I have quite a few of videos on that case, to be honest. Go check it out. Not a lot of views on it at all, but I have been covering it. So, all right, guys, yeah, good point. Miss Get Inspired. Yeah, that's true, because think about this. Charles originally was the one going to take JJ. Remember, he went out to go take JJ to school, and then he comes back in because he forgets his phone, and then the altercation takes place. So yeah, well, I guess if she just had it maybe at the counter, but I mean, she's saying all this crap happened. She remembered to grab her purse as she's like checking on the kids. That's a good point. Oh, you're right. Thank you. You're right. She does have Tylee go back in for it. Remember, because Tylee says she goes back in, but she didn't see Charles because the way she went in or whatever. You're right. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. I'm glad the first comment you said that, because then it could remind us about that. And then that's probably why Tylee's the one that had it and handed it to her. Yep. Okay. Yep. It's been a while. It's been like what, like almost a year, I feel like, since, you know, we were all really covering it when it all really just happened, you know, and then not much has happened in like months. And then now stuff's starting to happen again with this case. You know, all these videos got released and the trial's coming up now. So we've been waiting. That's what I'm saying. Now, like, these videos came up and like I uploaded them as like barely, and nobody was watching. I'm like, you guys, we've been waiting for this. Like, this is crazy. Where's everybody at? Because we waited like how long for some of this information, because it was just kind of, you know, nothing was happening after they got arrested. And then, you know, things were slowly happening. And then now that the trial keeps getting pushed back and they keep having these things, and I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. If the trial was supposed to be November for Chad's, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't know if they're going to wait for Lori's now, because they were supposed to have them together. And now Lori's still unfit. So, I mean, what are they going to do? They did change the venue. They're having it in, well, that video, I forget. It's not, they changed it, but I forget what the city was called. So they said both the change of venue for both of them, but I don't know if they're having it together. Are they going to wait? I don't really know. They haven't really been very clear, because they were supposed to have it together. And then now if Chad's okay to go on for trial and Lori's not, then are they waiting for Lori to be okay for Chad's too? That I don't know. I can't figure this out. I've been asking this to see if anybody knows, but I don't have the answer to that because I'm not sure. Whose car and Alex? And then Lori's. Wait, what do you mean, Lisa? Whose car, JJ, and then Alex and Lori's? I'm confused. What? All right. Oh, they're opening it again? I thought that they opened it but wasn't that like a month ago when they said they're opening it again? That's not just like recently. I just figured maybe they didn't find anything because I feel like that was a few months ago, right? I feel like it was almost last year when they said they're opening it again, but maybe it was just a couple months ago. I don't know. Seems like it was a while ago. Or are you saying they're opening it again like recently within like the matter of the last couple weeks? Because I know they had said that already, and I don't know. But I guess things take time, so just because we haven't heard anything. Anyway, all right, guys, I am going to go. Yeah, Chad's lawyer wanted him separately. Mark, oh, thanks, Renee. Thanks for the super chat. So Chad's lawyer was fighting he didn't want to have them together. So he was against having them together. But Mark Means, Lori's lawyer, didn't seem to care. He was fine with having them together. So didn't the judge rule that before Lori was deemed like, insane or unfit, not insane. Don't want to say that, but unfit to stand trial. Before that happened, didn't the judge okay them to have it together? Didn't he like rule on them having it together? If I'm remembering, I thought that's what they came to, that they were going to have them together. The judge said no because of, reasons like time, money. It just made more sense to have them together. Didn't he? I know they went to court, but I thought he had a ruling that they were. And then this whole Lori being unfit, then I was like, oh shoot, now what's going to happen? So I don't know if I'm remembering right, but God, there's been so many different little court hearings. I'm trying to think if it was just a hearing where he heard it or he ruled. I swear that it was when he actually said, yeah, that they're going to have it together. All right. All thanks, Loving Coco. Oh, thanks, Batman. Wow, guys, thanks for all the super chats. Yeah. Okay, so thanks. Who said that? Where did that go? Hold on. Where did that comment go? About that being the rental car. I wanted to comment on that. Is that what the person was asking? Where is that at? Hold on a second. I want to put oh, there it is. Dot. Okay. So yeah, that that was the same car because they had JJ. Charles had JJ in the car already. So yeah, Lori is driving that same car that Charles was renting, that Charles was going to take. So Lori's driving it, and I don't know. Wait, what was my point of that? What my point is? Oh, this is when we were thinking yeah, but she sent Lori or Tyler back in for the purse. I don't know what my point is, but yeah, she ended up taking the car, the same car. All right. Thanks, guys. Oh god, it's past my bedtime, guys. I'm such an old lady now. I'm going to bed all early. Okay. I think the keys were already in the car. I think he had if I'm remembering, I'm pretty sure Charles had the car started with JJ in it. He was about to take him to school. I think he had already started the car, right? So the keys were in there and it was started. I don't know. I could be wrong. Remind me, guys. It's been so long since this case because, like I said, it's been a while since everything happened and I was covering it. So I'm a little rusty. I'm starting to slowly remember all the little details. I'm just waiting for somebody to say if I'm remembering that right. Misbehaved. You know this case really good. Didn't he already have the car started and the keys were in there? I feel like. Wait. No, remember he brought JJ. in the car and he forgot his phone, so he went back in to get his phone, and that's when the whole altercation took place. JJ stayed out in the car. Well, we hear Lori in the interview saying that JJ was starting to come back inside, and Tylee was like this, but JJ was in the car waiting, and then they're probably in the house for like a few minutes, so JJ probably heard, I don't know if he heard the gun, I don't know what made him maybe start to get out of the car and come in, but I'm pretty sure, I feel like that, and have Charles' keys to drive away. That Charles just had the car started. Maybe I was just picturing that that's what I thought from the story, that, oh, he probably started the car and went in. I don't know if it says it somewhere. I don't remember. In my head, I thought that that's how it happened. That he probably started the car and just ran in to get his phone. But maybe not. Maybe he didn't start it yet. Who knows? But JJ, he did bring JJ into the car and then went back. So who knows? Maybe he did bring the keys back in. But then how would Lori get the keys back? Because if he was going to take JJ, he would have probably had the keys, right? He just left his phone there. So he probably would have had them in his hand. So no, he probably just started the car, getting ready to go, and realized he forgot his phone. I'm guessing that makes the most sense. Yeah. Okay. So that's one of the discrepancies, because JJ didn't get out of the car, but you heard Lori say that, isn't that what Lori just said in the interview, that he started to come in, which was weird because it's the first time I never heard that. I feel like even in that report, I don't remember it saying that. The reports before the videos came out where it explains what happened in the interviews, I don't remember that written down that she said that, but we heard her say that he was starting to come inside, right? I don't know why I'm asking. Yeah, we heard it. I heard it. I just heard it. Yeah. I mean, she did say that. So why did she say that? Like, I don't believe, yeah. I don't believe, I feel like I have a hard time believing that. I don't know. Wait, so he didn't take... Yeah, because he came back in for his phone. Why? He was taking JJ to school. That's true. This isn't adding up. Now that we're talking about it, wait a minute. She did say that he... No. I'm trying to think what she just said. Did she say that Tylee took JJ out? Because if she did, then these are more discrepancies, guys. Because think about it. Charles was taking JJ to school. He took him out to the car. If you hear the first part or some of the reports, I know they say he took him out to the car. He forgets his phone. He comes back in to get his phone, and Lori has the phone. But now that I'm thinking about it, did Lori might have said that she had Tylee take JJ out. But so something's not adding up here about that. Huh. Yeah, see, that's what I am picturing this whole time. This is the story that I remember. JJ and the keys were out there. Then that is, I think, one of the reasons Lori said that too, why she took it. But did Lori, now it makes me want to go listen to that, because now I'm thinking Lori might have just said that, you guys. That I don't know. I don't feel like I want to go. I just want to end it because I do want to get to bed, but maybe I'll watch it as I'm laying down to see. Maybe we just misheard something. If she just said, I'm talking about the interview we just watched. If she just said that she had Tylee take JJ out. Did she just say that, guys? That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. She told her to go out to JJ. That's what we heard. You're right. Okay. Thanks, Bobby. That's why I'm thinking I heard something about JJ and Tylee. Yeah. So she told her to go out with JJ. Yeah. Because JJ was already in the car. I mean, I know that. I know that was the main story, because Charles just forgot his phone. So yeah, I bet he started the car. The keys were in the car. forgets his phone. He goes back in, which I don't think he forgot the phone. I bet you Lori took it. I bet you when he was in there, Lori probably took the phone because she wanted, to see those text messages or plus she wanted him to come back in because of the plan. So whatever the motivation is, probably a little bit of both. She probably took the phone so he would have to come back. Whether he comes back after he drops JJ off at school or he comes back before that or whatever, she knows I have his phone. He's coming back. And so I don't think he just left his phone. I bet you when he was there, she probably somehow took it. Jerk. I hate her so much. Well, I don't know. He started it or left the keys in the car. I don't know. I guess I was picturing in my head. He goes out to take JJ, starts the car, gets JJ, and then he's like, oh, shoot, I left my phone. And then he goes back in. But maybe whether he just leaves the keys in the ignition and he doesn't get that far, I don't know. But I just pictured the keys being out there with JJ for some reason. And now that makes sense because Lori does explain that. Not, I don't think in this interview, but in one of those interviews, I think she does say that that's the reason she took the car. You guys are reminding me of different things that I'm forgetting. Yeah, but the thing is when she would have took the phone, he would have been leaving to take JJ to school. So I think she purposely took it because she knew then he would have to come back because they probably didn't get the ambush or, they didn't get their the result, what they wanted to do, the plan. They didn't get it done in time. He was about to take JJ. So whether she thought, oh, he'll come back after he drops JJ off or whatever, that he would come back because I do think they were planning on doing that and they needed it somehow to escalate. So plus, I do think she was wanting to see some text messages or something. Don't you think maybe the ones to Tammy, seeing if, that she talked to Tammy or talked to her brother. She knew he was in contact with her brother, Adam, and what the plan was. They thought they were planning something to see that kind of stuff. I don't think it was because he was cheating on her like she claimed. Oh, what's he hiding? I think it was about her that she wanted to see what the plan was. So I think it was probably a little bit of both. To make him mad, to get him back in, and plus to see what he's been texting her family and stuff, what they're planning. Yeah, I don't know. So maybe it wasn't started. I'm just saying the keys, I think, were in the car. I'm not sure, but who knows if Charles just, what I'm saying is like, let's say he just started it and he's like, I got to run in and get my phone. Like I could see maybe a guy doing that, like, it depends when he realized he forgot his phone. Did he realize after he started the car, before he started the car? I don't know. It probably depends. But I think it's possibilities that the car was started, to be honest, depending on when he realized. But you're right. Probably most parents don't. I would never do that, but I'd be nervous. Especially with like somebody like JJ, because he is autistic and he probably doesn't he might not understand and I don't know, it depends on how he is. Does he like get into things? I don't know. Like, would he like move the gear? I mean, so yeah, probably wasn't purposely. If he did, it was probably just like a rush thing. Like, oh, maybe he forgot to if he started, he forgot to turn it back off. Who knows? Maybe he didn't, guys. I don't know. But I think the keys were in there is the bottom line. Yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah, I bet you a lot of people do for the air condition. Yeah, I could see that. Especially if you could, like if a kid, but see with JJ, I don't know. Like if the kid's old enough and you could explain, don't do this. This is dangerous. And they know like, okay, I'm not going to move that. Or just in here, don't do this. But depending on how much JJ comprehended those rules would be important, I feel like. All right, guys, I am gonna go. Thanks for coming. JJ, no way was that car left running with JJ in it. Oh, wow. I'd like to see that. That's the redacted. There's so much redacted in these reports around this case, like chunks of blacked out stuff that hopefully one day, after the trial, I don't know if it'll ever get released, if, the public will ever be able to see it. Hopefully, yeah, you'd think maybe after the trial. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of redacted stuff. It was a very hot day. Okay. All right. Well, you guys, thank you guys for watching this with me. Like I said, we'll continue. I might do a couple more in the daytime tomorrow. I don't know. Or sometime tomorrow, maybe even later. I'm not sure. We'll watch a couple more interviews. At least in these next couple of days for sure, because I want to end up watching them all with you guys. Because that was fun. I like watching with you guys and chatting as we're watching them. Alma, cool. Oh, I know. I missed you guys too. The last couple of lives I've been seeing a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, so it's been nice. All right. Mark Klein in the house. Give me the phone and keys. He probably came in. Yeah. All right, y'all. You guys have a good night. You guys are this is probably like early for you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are my night owls, and maybe someday I'll get back to being a night owl, but in this moment in my life, I'm like an old lady. I'm an early bird. Bed early and up early, which is nice sometimes, I like being up early. And then I know eventually that I'll get back to the night owls, because that's just like in my blood. It's just in me, like being a night owl. Even, you have jobs where you have to get up early or whatever. And I always end up eventually going back to my ways, the night owl. I don't know. Nighttime is just when I could think better normally. But, so I'm pretty sure I'll probably end up being one again. So Zeke never came back up to visit. I think my grandma moved the gate back again. She forgets, and we're keeping it open now, and she forgets and sometimes shuts it. So, but it's going to be nice, because now leaving it open, he will come and visit, and you guys will get to see him more. Because before it would be shut, and then he couldn't get up here. You know what I'm saying? So, not that ever, but like there'd be periods. So at night it would be shut. So he has the whole. It's not like he's caged in. He has the whole downstairs. He roams around free wherever he wants, just to up the stairs, because I don't know. It's just how he did it. But now not anymore. So he's even got the whole upstairs now. So he'll be making more appearances, guys. But like I said, I think she shut it. I'm guessing, because he would be up here scratching already. I know it. He scratches on the door. He's so cute. Gosh, I love him. All right. Oh, thanks, Tennessee. You are Christy Babs, Dark Sea. So, oh, thanks, Carrie. Thanks, Carrie Ann. Wow. Yeah. Zeke don't like that. All right. But I'm literally going to bed now. And normally I'm in bed like at 9, but so my mom's probably already passed out. So I'll be sleeping good tonight. I actually listened to Bella, her story time or whatever, her videos. I did the playlist she has, so you can listen to all 3 parts. And God, it knocked me out quick. Just because it's relaxing. Like, that's what, I don't know, her voice just relaxes me. I slept so good last night. Because I was watching my other ASMR, and I was like having like anxiety, and I just wasn't, it was like I wasn't working. And I'm like, why am I not listening to Bella's the story? And I did, and I was just out like that. Just relaxing. Something about her voice, I don't know, it just makes me relaxed and fall asleep. All right, guys. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next couple days, and we'll finish watching the next. We'll probably I would like to do Zulema next for sure. And we still got to do Alex. We got to do Ty Lee. Tylee's obviously not long, we see, so Tylee's will be quick. Alex's is over 2 hours, and Zulema's is, I forget how long Zulema's is, so we'll get them done. Maybe we'll probably end up doing 2 more lives to get them done. Or one real long one. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Yeah, Zulema says a lot. She does. There's a lot of information. Just like I feel like Melanie's. Lori doesn't give us crap, I feel like, in this interview, but it's just interesting to hear her lie and what she says. But yeah, Zulema does. Melanie does by what she won't say, I feel like. So like hearing what she's afraid to say kind of is telling with the Melanie. And Melanie's was just entertaining. It was like crazy all over the place. So I mean, it was just a kind of an entertaining interview. And then Zulema's is just, yeah. So yeah, we'll watch that next for sure. Zulema's. All right, guys. Well, oh, Jason Mouth. I keep forgetting about his. Thanks, Crime Powwow. Thanks. I know it already is. Crime Bear. I know. And it is nice. It is easier. All right, y'all. Well, you guys have a good night, and thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, cool. All right. Bye, guys.